And welcome to Harbingers. Just a little misdirection there. I know you thought I was this skull here on these cards. That's the kind of magic that I can do. You're welcome. Hi everyone! Welcome back! My rings are getting stuck on everything. This is going great. Hi, it's been a little while extra than normal since we were here last. And we're very happy to be back, and we're happy to see all you out there. Let me tell you what you're in for if you're brand new here. This is Harbingers, and this is Chapter 1, Coven. We are on the penultimate episode tonight, but let me explain that a little bit, because we do have 10 episodes in the season, and this is episode 7. I've said this a few different places, but for clarity's sake, tonight is the penultimate. Next Tuesday will be the season finale. We'll have a couple of weeks off, and then we're going to come back for just a little bit more of this story. It'll be jammed by Philip, pointing the right direction. By Philip right here.
Yeah. You did it.
All right? And then we'll have a chat back after that. So we actually have a fair amount more time, but story-wise, it's important for you to know where we are. So tonight, I will be your GM. I am Meghan Caves. You are watching here on the DAT Network. Thank you for joining us. Hello, DAT fam out there. We will be playing Savage Worlds Adventure Edition. Rules for this game tonight, or Suede as some people know it. You can watch back to, oh yeah, you got the book right there. You can watch back to some of our earlier episodes to get a little bit of information on how the game works. The first few episodes I did describe that a few times, but since we've been here for a little bit, we won't do that tonight. Yeah, let me tell you real quick a little bit of what you can do to affect this show. So first of all, like I said, the DAT Network, Dragons and Things Network, that's where we are. We are a small independent group of folks who are working together to bring you this content. So if you like what you're seeing, if you just want to support us, let us know that you're enjoying the show. You can tip any amount that you would like to. Now, you also get a few benefits for that tip. One thing that comes along with it is I'm going to roll a die on the die of chance. This is a D20 array. I will roll that die, and something's going to happen. Could be good or bad for me or the players. If you roll a 20 on that die, then it's going to graduate to the die of fate, which is a D10 array. I will roll that. And that actually happened last time, which was very exciting. And there are a few more fancy things on there. If you roll a 10 on that one, it will graduate to the Die of Destiny, which we have yet to achieve. That is a D4, and all of those things have story implications. So that is something, yeah, right there, D4. That is something that we want to happen. So the way those are triggered. Well, I mean, you all might want it to too. You don't know. You don't know. Could be good. Could be good.
I don't know. I thought dark
the way
magic
those
was gonna be good.
magic.
It's not.
Well, dark magic is just on the first array, so I'm just saying. For that to be triggered throughout a night, so when we're starting at 0, we hit a cumulative total $25, we will get a roll. We hit the next 25, so that'll be 50. We get a roll, and then it's every $50 after that. You can see whenever the little donation thing comes up underneath me, I think it says donation array tracker, which you will see in a little bit under the cards. You can see there are lines. Every time we pass one of those lines, we're going to make a die roll. So that's how that works. The other thing you can do for $15 or more, you can send a message from the ancestors to the witches here. So you can give them a little bit of advice. You can tell them a little bit of what might be helpful. Could be anything. But just keep it nice, ancestors, all right? Don't be too mean. This is well, it's rated R, but mostly keep it PG-13. We'll get to that in a moment. Let's meet our players. Oh, and I should check in. Is that donation tracker, is that current for tonight?
Maybe?
Oh boy. It looks like, it looks like it might be.
Oh,
Okay, well, we'll get back to that in just one moment. We'll give people a little more time. I have too many?
I mean,
What do I have too many of?
It helps us, but you know,
I like it. I like it. So, yeah, right? I know, that's what we want to get. We'll get back to that here in just one moment. But first, let's meet these fine folks we have here. So, for tonight, what I would like to hear from you all is, who are you? Who is your character? Give me just a little bit of what they look like. Highlight your advance, and then I will ask you a question, but I won't start with that, so you don't have to remember so many things. But let's start tonight with Diana. Woo!
And you're first. Okay. Hi, everyone out there. I'm Diana Struppo. I will be playing Rowan Thornheart, a young witch, and very good with spells, unlike her brother. Sorry, bud. Yeah. And I already forgot what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to highlight a mechanic, correct?
Who you are, who
Your
they
advance.
are. Yeah, highlight your advance and what you look like.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. The advanced, what I did this time around is I took a next die level for my notice roll and my occult roll. I thought it'd be useful, especially since we are doing a lot of investigation right now, and Rowan is very curious and very watchful at the moment. So I figured that would be kind of the best bet to go. And wow. Yeah. Oh, what I look like. Okay. Jesus. She's wearing. I am not with it tonight. I'm so sorry. She's wearing a long, flowing, wine-colored dress. Very youthful in her look. She's pretty. She kind of keeps herself nice and neat. Although right now, I'm sure we're all covered in blood after everything that's been going on, and we're all kind of dirty, to be honest with you. I've got the necklace and the head necklace, and look like Piper. We're both the elder, so we both have the same thing here. And yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay. Here, you did. Here is your question. Who is Rowan the most scared of currently?
Oh, out of like us here, or like everyone in general?
Could be. Just who it could be anyone in town, or somebody like who right now do you, or it could be you feel, or Rowan feels is the one that you are currently the most cautious or scared of.
Oh god, I'm afraid to say it, and then someone's gonna hate me the rest of this time. Well,
I don't think you're scared of me.
No, I'm not scared of Hadrian, and I'm not
Narrows it
scared
down.
of Leander.
Okay.
But she's having second thoughts about her brother, Bertram. Especially with the photographs and everyone dying and blaming him for it, or dying or in trouble blaming him for it. So she doesn't know what's really going on, and she's hoping that Eden doesn't move away. I think that's her biggest thing too, is her fear of Eden moving away and her not being there to help us.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Randy, same thing. Tell us who you are, who your character is, a little bit of what they look like, highlight your advance, and same question. Who is Leander most scared of?
So I'm playing Leander Notley, the maybe brother to Piper Notley, but we don't know that for a fact anymore. He is another young witch, slightly older, I think, than Rowan, but he is sort of very kind-looking, a very like homely kind of presence, very, very slightly disheveled hair, probably dirty just every day, so probably more dirty than usual. He wears a green tunic with like a brown cloak and very earthy tones, but yeah. For my advance this time, I decided to take the healer feat because we're seeing a lot of people getting hurt and dying around us, so maybe being better at helping healing. Well, story-wise, I think he's been doing it a couple of times already, so he's getting better at it, unfortunately. So,
That's great.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. And then who he's most afraid of, I think he's kind of afraid of this doomstower person, I think, sort of thing, maybe, because he thinks that that's probably what he saw in the woods that reminded him of his friend Stanley. And he's really afraid of that. Because that's a
Awesome.
scary thing for him.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, I like it. Thank you. Just gotta make a note. Okay. Adam, same thing. Same thing. Tell us who you are, who your character is, a little bit what they look like, highlight your advance, and what, or who rather, is your character is Hadrian most afraid of currently.
Sure. Well, my name is Adam Khan. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, all Dat fam and new fam, old fam, new peeps coming in. I'm playing Hadrian Hattie Marth, your local fisherman here in the town of Black Point. Long, gross hair, smells a lot like fish because he's constantly fishing. Smells like water and wet. So him and Leander have become actually pretty good scaredy friends. Which is really, really good. He's missing an eye as well too. It's not just a fashion statement. He did lose his right eye when he was younger. Yeah, just very plain. And I go nowhere without my awesome monster pusher backer with me. See, even the camera got really scared too. It went out of focus. Always walking around with his fishing pole. The advance that I took, Megan, let me kind of customize it just a little bit, because typically you can take major hindrances sometimes and make them minor. Apparently not with yellow though, because I figured with Hattie, everybody has been trying to not force him to be brave, but just kind of instill in him bravery itself. It's just like you have the capability of doing that, and he has become scared of dead bodies. He has become scared of blood now as well too. So I took we talked, and we actually brought my yellow from a major down to a minor, just because he wants to try to step up in that bravery aspect a little bit. I was looking at like other things such as brave, which gives you like a +2 to stuff. I don't think Hattie is in a position, especially just gaining a new phobia, that he's able to take that leap just yet. But he wants to at least try, because of the situation we're in, and these people that he's around right now, he really cares about them. He wants to try to step up and play his hand at the bravery thing. As for being scared, that's like a loaded question for me. But
the world,
the world, everything. Not really so much of the group. Even with Bertram, I don't feel like Hattie's really scared of Bertram, because Bertram still is. He sees it as Bertram still trying to figure out what's going on with the whole situation as well too, and he's not coming across as like really being malevolent or mean towards us outside of how he normally talks, which is totally Bertram to us. He's been thinking about a lot about the collector though, because there was one thing that he did notice in that when they were in the collector space was there was like this globe of something, and he was described that there was a crack in the globe and all this stuff was coming out, and just made him feel like it was part of that like upside down, inside out crazy place that we were in. I mean, this whole collector thing is kind of always been sitting in the back of his mind ever since we met him. Yeah, and then of course everything else. So
everything. I like it. Thank you. Yes, and in regards to because in Savage Worlds, one of your advance options is you can get rid of a hindrance. So you can get rid of a minor, or you can drop a major to a minor. And now this may have just been my trying to get it to work via savage.us, but because yellow is it's just major only. Some hindrances could be either. Yellow is just major, so there wasn't an option to drop it down. But that is the way that it can work, and as far as I'm concerned, it makes sense. So we just subtracted, so it's less of a negative now, which, yeah, I think will work great. Woo! So thank you. Yeah, -5. That's what we did. Philip, same thing. Tell us who you are, who your character is, a bit about what they look like, highlight your advance, and who are they currently most scared of?
Sure. Hi, I'm Philip Rossi, and I'm playing Bertram Thornhart, who is the brother of Diana's character, Rowan Thornhart. Bertram is a gatherer, sort of like a ranger. Goes outside the city walls a lot, so he wears earth tones, high boots, not particularly like fashionable clothing, but well-worn Spartan, a wool tunic, high boots, leather pants, just like hunting attire, and he doesn't go anywhere without his tomahawk and his trusty crossbow.
Nice.
My advance. On my advance, I bumped my smarts up in an attempt to maybe one day successfully cast a spell in this game.
Aw.
That's the goal.
One day.
One day.
One day.
And
Yeah, I
As far
really
as
have to
how-
fight the urge.
Sorry. It's a theater kid. Anyway.
As far as Bertram's fear, Bertram doesn't experience fear the way a normal person does because he is so overconfident in himself that it's like confusing to feel fear. I feel like he doesn't have fear so much as distrust. So I think it's a toss-up between the Collector, which is just sort of out of this world thing, but it almost seems not to have any bearing on his life at the moment. It's just like some sort of otherworldly thing apart from that. And I think it's between the Collector and Leander. I think I feel like Leander is sort of heading up the Bertram's a problem movement in town, and that does not sit well with Bertram. In a lot of ways, that's a bigger problem for Bertram than like a mystery man in a pop-up window. So,
Wow. Real deep.
Oh, tonight's gonna be great.
I like it. I like it.
that's my hot take
I
on,
like
on what's going on.
Awesome. Thank you very much for that. Let's hop over real quick and see what our chat has been doing here. Oh, I gotta make this window bigger so I can actually see it. Okay, there we go. Gotta work this out. All right, first off, we have Matty Yu, who has given us a follow. Thank you very much. We've got Ali Kaplan, who has given us some bits.
Ali!
That's lovely. Oh,
Nice.
and we have a message from the ancestors Neva and Omar. They say, "Whose woods? These are we think we know. We've seen the forest darkness grow. We recommend not stopping here, even when the path seems clear." And yet, they have a little bit more to say. They say, "These woods are lovely, dark and deep. Within the shadows monsters creep. But you have promises to keep, and miles to go before you sleep."
That's a good one.
Oh,
It is good. I like
Very
that.
good.
Thank you,
Ancestors.
Neva and Omar.
Oh my.
Yes. We've got Penguin Witch Doctor, who has resubscribed for 21 months in a row for 36 total, which is amazing. Daniel Lance, who has resubscribed for 18 months in a row. Zach Damac has resubscribed for 12 months in a row. And we have, the Real POTUS 98 has rated us. Thank you very much. And has resubscribed for 44 months.
Yes.
Real POTUS also gifted a sub, and 54 Aquasnakes has resubscribed for 14 total months. That's amazing.
Thank you.
And one more message from the wise ancestor 5-foot Latina. Recall the words of the wise woman who once said, "If you are lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. Time after
Time after time.
I love it.
That is
Thank you very much, ancestors. Thank you for that. All right. I think we have some rolls to make. Let me check in real quick. It looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those rolls. I'm very excited. This is the most fun. Okay, I have to get the proper rolling die. Here we go. Here we go.
20 again.
All
baby.
right.
Come on, get up to our big dice.
I know, 21. 20! It's a 14. Okay. Let's see. What is on 14? That is a Benny to everyone except for me. Yay! That was a good one.
Thank you, Bennies.
That was a good one. Yes, you guys will probably need those.
Wow, ominous.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
All right, that was one roll. Here we go for the next one. Okay, that is a 5, which is a Benny to one random person. So let's see who that random person could possibly be. I don't think you need to hope, Philip. I just don't. It goes to Adam. Philip! Look at that!
I mean, Adrian
Those
needs
fear
all the
checks.
minis he can get.
That's
Yeah.
true. This is true.
All right, that was 2. 4 more to go. Here we go. All right. Oh, 16. So close. All right. 16. That is another. Oh, it's a reroll to everyone except for me. Oh my god, you guys now each got a reroll. Wow. Okay.
We're just
Okay.
getting prepared
Three more.
as we can for tonight.
Yep. This is
Yeah.
true.
Be a 20, be a 20, be a 20, be a 20. It's a 10. Damn.
Oh.
Cut it in half. Okay.
Half.
10. This is a reroll to one random person. Let's find out who it is. It is Adam again. Oh my gosh, Adam, you're the new Philip.
Hey!
Yay.
Yeah.
All right, 2 more. Here we
You're
go.
gonna be the new me. You should start making all your hero rolls, Adam.
You know what? You're
4.
right. I'm gonna change my pants.
Are they
Am I
Another
better?
Benny.
They're going to be.
Another Benny to another random person. This one goes to Philip.
There it is.
There it is. All right, one more roll. Come on. This is gonna be the 20. 20. 20.
Oh god.
It's a 6. It's not a 20, but it's another random Benny. Okay. Let's see. Can any of these dice roll lower than a 1 or a 2? I mean, higher. It's a 4. It's for Diana. Look at that.
Thank you, friends.
Diana
Whole
also
extra
already
one.
has
All
a
right.
lot.
What happened?
True.
You're
You
lucky,
already have a
right?
lot of minis.
Yes. Lucky.
Yeah, I do have lucky.
Wow.
I'm really lucky.
That was awesome.
Well, not gonna lie, let me not jinx that. Where's wood?
Do you have any? Oh no, she doesn't have any wood nearby.
The floors. are
Anyway,
covered.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, the last thing we need to cover before we dive in is the content warning. This show is rated R or TVMA for horror, violence, gore, and intense content, emotional content, death, all of those kinds of things. So if that's not something you want to be here for, now would be a great time to go and watch another really great show that doesn't have as much of that stuff in it. Also, you all probably know this by now, but the cast still does not know what the setting we are in is. Some of you may not. If you do, though, don't tell them. All right. They get to discover it on their own. That's the fun part. That's the fun part. I enjoy that
Oh,
part.
I agree.
Okay.
No, I'm excited.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, let's chat about what happened last time. Last time, our witches were left with nowhere to turn after Bronwyn and the militia once again sent them home after finding them speaking with Elder Maeve. The group decided to stick together and get some rest before heading out to find the final Elder Ursa themselves. Emotions spilled over as the witches had a moment of space to look over all that has happened in the last few days, though they found a small amount of solace in being together. The next morning, the Coven discovered that someone or something had killed the entire town militia, including Elder Maeve and Rowan and Bertram's mother, Bronwyn. Her last words said to her only son were, "How could you?" This drove the whole group into a grim determination. Stopping by town seer Eden Lobos, they learned about the Night Haunts, the monster that has been stalking the town, and how to kill it. Eden also told them that that many of the children seem to be missing, and it looks as though they have gone into the dark forest. So last we left the group standing right in front of the dark forest. And this is the same location where they first went into the dark forest way back in episode 2, when they first discovered the elders had been missing. So they're actually a bit behind Ursa's house, except now this area looks a little bit different because it has way more tracks here than were there before. Even the area where they entered the woods, you can tell more people have gone through. Some of the foliage is a bit more trampled in this area. So last we left you all, you had just left Eden's house. She had just told you about the Night Haunts. It has not been that long since you discovered your mother. The Thornhearts discovered their mother. and the town militia. You've also come upon multiple people in the town who have mentioned missing their children. And now you have found a lot of very small footprints leading into the forest, and you all have prepared to follow. Is there anything anyone would like to do before you head into the forest?
I'd like to have Willow just on my shoulder and prepared to fly, sort of scouting a little bit ahead of us so that I can speak to her about it.
Okay. Okay, so just a little, do you want her to go, like, higher? Or
Yes,
just kind of...
Yeah, yeah. I kind of
Okay.
want her higher, yeah.
Okay. So she can fly up a little bit. She's still staying within the canopy of the trees. These trees are fairly tall. But if she went too far, they're so dense that she might not be able to see you. So she's still, just so you know, you can see her. She's still in the trees. She's just up a lot higher. Also, Piper has a little shoulder sling bag that she's built for Shadow to be able to ride in. And sometimes Shadow will come up and curl up on her shoulders as well. So she puts Shadow in that bag. Anything anyone else would like to do? Okay.
Can we just... I'll just take a moment and, no matter what happens, just know that I care about each and every one of you. A lot. Just want to make sure that you all know that my family, you know, things we saw may not say the truth, but as of right now, standing here, you guys are my family. So you all know that.
I feel the same way, Rowan. I know not all of us, and her eyes linger on Bertram's a little bit longer when she says this. I know not all of us have always gotten along, and I know I'm not always easy to deal with, but I appreciate you all. And I also feel very much like you are my family. And I'm glad that you're here and we're not doing this alone. So, are we ready to go into the forest? I mean, Bertram, you know the forest the best. You should probably take the lead and show us where to go, right?
Yeah, sure. Just we'll just follow the tracks. Everyone keep your eyes peeled and don't wander off.
We should all stick together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and if someone's in front, and just make sure the rest of us are following, okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Just always keep somebody in sight.
Yeah, listen, the woods are scary, but we'll be back before dark. Nothing to worry about. Okay?
Getting really close to dark now, Bertram. I don't know that you can handle it in the dark, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the dark's not a problem.
Okay.
It's just a lack of light.
Yes.
Is it getting close to dark?
It's like late afternoon, and it
Didn't
is
we
in
sleep?
the winter. You slept, and then you dealt with the town militia and everything around that, and you went and spoke with Eden, so the day has moved on up this way.
For some reason, I thought we went to our house, picked up those rabbits, came back, and spent the night at the eldest town elder's place. Did I make that up?
Mhm.
Did I blank?
No,
you did
that's
that.
right.
Okay, that's right.
Mhm.
Okay,
And
cool.
you are correct. Yes.
All right. Well, then I will light up one of my hand-rolled cheroots and launch this expedition into the woods.
Okay. Piper will follow you. So as you all enter the forest, there's kind of the way it's been cleared, it's almost like a wall. It's so thick as you go in, and immediately the air changes. Almost like the temperature drops by a noticeable degree. You can't tell if it's just that these woods are a dangerous place, or if it's something you're actually picking up on, but you're all on edge. So, Bertram, you are following the tracks, yes?
Yep, that's the goal.
Make a survival check at a +2 to be able to maintain that.
Megan,
It's a 4.
if marching order matters, I'll be towards the back so that the, Leander and Hadrian can be in the middle and feel safer.
Okay. Sounds
Thank you.
good.
I'm in the middle then. I call middle.
Middle.
All right. I'm towards the back.
So you got a 4. Yeah, you see that these footprints are still there. There's a lot. There are so many footprints. It seems like maybe you could distinguish some, but it's just too muddy right here.
Okay.
But you are able to continue to follow. It's not super hard because as you go into the woods, you still kind of see that where it just looks like enough people moved through here. There's enough brush that has been kind of squashed that's fairly easy to tell, at least so far.
Sure. I'll just keep my crossbow at the ready.
Okay. Leander, did you want to make any rolls for Willow?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Yeah, make a notice roll.
All right. Willow's notice is a D8. I'm gonna use a reroll on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got a 2 and a 3. So,
That won't get you too far.
yeah, I got a 4.
Okay, that's a success. So, are you using looking through her senses right now, or is she just kind of
She's
talking
just
to you?
sort of talking to me right at the moment.
Okay, so she'll fly ahead and then she'll buzz down and kind of tell you what she's seeing. And she kind of tells you basically what Bertram seems to also be noticing is just that there's a fair amount of footprints and they just go deeper into the forest. It looks like she just says, half, long path, straight path, deep path. Which to you interpret it's just going directly down into the woods and it goes for a ways.
All right. As it starts getting darker in the forest, I'll start keeping her closer to us. So not all the way up in the canopy, but sort of closer around us. Just
Okay.
keep an eye out, friend. Thank you.
She says, "Aye, yes, friend," and she kind of buzzes around. You all, if you ever occasionally look back, you'll see Shadow kind of walk around Piper's shoulders, and Hadrian, you're probably directly behind Piper, so every once in a while you'll just see glowing eyes as it gets darker kind of glint at you.
Oh.
It's a little nerve-wracking.
Huh? You know, that cat's gonna freak me out.
Everyone make me a notice roll.
Now I have a D6.
There you go.
5.
2
Oh.
5s.
17.
Whoa.
17. Holy butts.
I aced it twice. My
Wow.
wild die.
4.
4.
See it all.
So you all continue to walk through these woods. You hear the occasional bird fly through the branches. You see movement occasionally, but nothing that jumps out at you. Seems like most likely it is just an animal moving about the forest, but it's still a very strange place, strange feeling. But Leander, Rowan, and Hadrian, you all can clearly see this path continues to go straight. It's fairly easy to follow. Bertram, you notice something in the distance. Something that seems to be in the way of the path. You can't quite tell what it is. It almost looks like structure, but it's a little further away. No one else seems to have noticed it yet, just you.
I'll keep an eye on it as we keep walking.
Okay.
Closer.
All right. You all keep walking, and Bertram, you're noticing you all have been walking for a time, and it is definitely getting darker. It feels that it is at least nearing evening, and Bertram, this whole time that we continue to walk, it looks like you're headed directly for this structure, almost as if this path goes right to it. You can see it not far. And at this point, Piper also notices and says, "Is that what is that a house? What is that?"
Yeah, it's some kind of building, I think.
Someone lives in the dark forest?
Well,
I can't imagine.
it's a building at any rate.
Have you
Maybe
seen this
shelter?
before, Bertram? Yeah.
No, I haven't seen this before. But that doesn't mean somebody lives out here. It just means there's a building out here. Maybe it's from before the forgetting.
Yes. Okay. Well, it looks like the path leads directly to it. And as you all do get closer, it in fact does look that way. It looks like you can see what looks like rough branches and sticks and even some leaves have sort of been built up almost like an entryway. And there is what looks like a doorway, but it's completely dark beyond it. There's no door, just darkness. It's like it goes
So
down.
it looks like
you
a
can't really
giant
tell.
brush pile with a doorway
Kind
in it.
of. Yeah, and it looks like it covers a very large area ahead of you. You can't really tell because it looks like it sort of goes down into the ground in some areas. It's hard to get a strong sense of the shape.
And it's not like we can't walk around it to see how big it is.
It would not be easy to do that. Partially because you kind of could, but it literally looks like this doorway is built into the ground. So it could either be very small or it could go down deeper. If you walked around, you would have to go out a little ways around to get around some of the trees and brush, but you could.
Okay. It looks like the path goes to the doorway.
Yeah.
Does the door look similar to the door that we got, that person the collector came through? Does it look like the same door?
Not at all.
No?
No. This looks like barely a door, if you could call it that. It's like an opening in this rough building that someone has seemingly put together. Whereas what you saw with the collector looked very, I don't know, shiny and very strongly square.
Okay.
So
What are we doing?
Yeah, do we go? It seems like we should go in, right?
I don't like
that
it.
way.
What, Bertram? What'd you say?
I was just saying it looks like we should go in.
But
And
Bertram,
I don't like it either, Notley.
Well, weren't those creatures that attacked us, weren't they underground? Isn't that going deeper underground?
I mean, when we were all out in the
mean-
wood. Oh, I forgot about those.
That seemed more like something that was buried that popped up. This is a hole in the ground.
Do you guys think that all the children are underneath here?
I mean, it looks like all those footprints are going that way.
Okay, we can do this. We can do this, everyone. We can do this.
Yeah, we've got each other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. You all are fully capable of handling whatever we run into. We have run into more than I would say you and I even have, Rowan, as elder apprentices, and you all have held your own so far. So I believe that we can do this. I believe that you all can do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I also feel like I'm hearing a message from maybe an ancestor. Oh, I think it's Ancestor Moxie Blue. And they say, always embrace the darkness, unless it's inside of you. Yes, we are talking about you, Bertram. Lots of love to you all from Moxie Blue and Viking Mermaid. Thank you. And I wanted to say this real quick. I know I don't normally do them in the middle of the game, but it did send us over to another die roll, and that could be important. So let's do that real quick.
Ooh, thank you, ladies.
Yes, thank you. And we do have some follows and things like that, and I will get to that at the break, so don't you worry. All right, we got a 12. Let me see what 12 is real quick. It's a Benny to everyone except for me.
I love it.
Me too. You did say we're going to
You all have
bennies.
so
Thank you, Megan.
many
Yeah.
bennies. You're welcome. This is nuts.
Thank you, friends.
Hey, bennies.
Yes, thank you.
Yay!
Thank you all.
Yay for bravery and teamwork and family. Woo.
They might need them. Yeah. All right. So
Oh, God.
back to that. Yeah, we are at the entrance of this, and Piper says, "Okay, let's do this. Yeah, see if we can find these children and find Ursa and figure out what's going on in this place."
We need to stop whatever's going on before more people die.
Yes.
Agree.
Hmm.
All right.
Piper turns around and starts walking towards the doorway.
Leander
I'll
shakes
follow.
his head no and follows.
Hattie takes a big breath. And he steps forward.
All right. So
You ready for this, bro?
as you all enter this place, once again, it feels very different. It's very dark. There's only a little bit of light coming from behind you. Now, Bertram, you did light something, right? Before, or you have a light of some kind? Did you say that?
I lit my cigar, but I think I'm gonna chuck
Okay.
it.
Into
Okay.
the woods. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, set it on fire.
No.
Oh.
Everything is on fire. No.
Underground, we're safe.
So it grows very dark in here, actually very fast. I mean, you can't see much of anything at all. And Piper, you kind of hear her, you hear a thud and you hear her call out. And you don't hear anything else. And then a moment, you hear her go, "Ow, I think I kicked a rock. It hurt." And at this point, you all can't see anything. Even looking back, you can't see anything. And you start to hear voices. But children's voices crying. It's just occasionally you hear various different things, and it's coming from the direction we were headed, but it's getting a little confusing to tell where you are anymore.
Right.
Good.
Hang on. Everyone, hang on a second. I think I can do this. Just give me a second. And I'm going to attempt to cast a spell.
Okay. I like it. Make a spellcasting roll. Are you going to try to see with your eyes? Your special eyes?
Yeah, that's right.
My bland.
I'm going to use a reroll.
Oh my
Okay. I'm saying a reroll.
This could be the day.
It could. You've done this spell before.
Maybe the day.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
that's a 13.
Okay.
Bertram!
yo.
So, it takes me a
Holy
second.
crap.
But
Don't know what you're doing, but good job.
I like clench my eyes down really hard, and mutter to myself. And when I open them, my eyes have gained that reflective quality that you see at like of animals late at night, where it sort of looks like mirrors. And I'm actually going to attempt to give other people this ability by burning a bunch of my power points. So once I do
like
that
it.
to myself, I am going to sort of like feel around and see who I bump into next.
Okay. The next closest people would be, I believe, Piper in front of you, and I think Leander came in behind you.
Okay. Well, I don't know why I feel around. I can see in the dark now. So I'll just I'll reach out and sort of grab onto Piper's shoulders. Say, Pipes, hold on a second. And I'm gonna spin her around and just sort of hold her head and put my face really close next to her so our noses are touching, and concentrate. And when I close my eyes and when I open them, she has it too. I'm gonna go down the line and do that to everybody.
Okay. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Well, when you do that and she all of a sudden sees you, she just kind of looks at you for a minute, and then she kind of looks away, and then you continue about that. One thing I will say though that you notice is you. Oh, you guys are all laughing. It's okay. I didn't even notice that. No, I love it. You notice that you can't see as well as you normally can. You can see better. You can see the outline of everybody, but still when you look around, it's like the field. It's almost like there's a darkness fog. It's very weird. But you can at least see, you can see Piper, you can see everyone else. So do you have enough PowerPoints to be able to do this for everybody?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Because I haven't used any of them ever. I guess, seeing as I cast that spell and it like sort of, it doesn't work quite how I think it's going to. So when I do that to Piper, which I've never sort of given anyone this hunter's sight before. Or hunter's eyes
Piper's
before.
She looks like cat's eyes. They look different.
After she does it, I'll just sort of hold her face and say, "Did that work?" Pipes?
Yeah, you can see her eyes glowing, like reflecting a little bit. She goes, "Oh yeah. Thanks."
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll turn around and you said Leander's next?
Leander, I think, is right behind you.
Yeah. All right. Not Lee. Just trust me for a second, okay?
Okay.
And I'll, do the same thing and sort of work down the line.
The whole
Better?
time you're getting closer to his face, he's like wide-eyed, like scared of your eyes because they're like animal eyes and they're kind of scary.
Yeah, I did think of that. Reflecting in the non-light. Okay, so yeah, you're able to do that for everybody, and everyone you can. Same thing. You can't really see distance-wise very far, but you can see each other in kind of your immediate surroundings a little bit better. But that seems very strange. And Piper says, I don't know how this usually works for you, Bertram, but I still feel like this darkness feels too intense, and I'm wondering if there's magic here.
Yeah, it normally works a lot better than this.
Yeah, I think that Adam might need to make a fear check.
I'm sorry. I have no idea.
Scared you.
Brady just scared the crap out of me.
I missed that. I didn't even see it. I just saw your reaction.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
It's all good.
I'm gonna be paranoid in my apartment.
Oh no. So you all need to move forward, I assume. Yes, that's the plan.
Yeah.
Okay, this is going to be done as a dramatic task, but because you cast this illumination, everyone's going to get a +2 to everything you do. So you all need 15 successes in 3 rounds to successfully make your way through this darkness without taking any fatigue, essentially, any bumps and bruises. So let's draw some cards. So we're going to start off with Hadrian. You get a 7 of diamonds. We've got Bertram has a 4 of clubs. That's not great. Leander, you have a 9 of diamonds. Rowan has a 5 of diamonds. And Piper has a jack of diamonds. Would anyone like to spend a Benny to redraw? And again, remembering this is a dramatic task. What happens with clubs, if you critically, let me think about this. If you critically fail, the whole thing is failed. You fail the task immediately. If you have clubs, you're at a -2 for everything you do. You can always choose not to do anything on your turn. That is always an option. So those are things to think about. Would anyone like to use a Benny, or are you good? Good?
I'm good.
All right.
Yeah.
First up will be Piper. And so Piper is going to, she's actually, how do I want to do this? I'm just going to use notice, I think, and she's going to try to kind of, there's sort of a like dirt wall, because you all have noticed as you went in through the branches, you started to go down, and now it's mostly dirt. It looks like somebody has dug down into the ground. So she's going to kind of put her hand on the wall and go a little bit slower to try and feel her way there without bumping into anything. So I will make notice. Ooh, okay, I got a 4. So that is 1 success. All right. Next up is Leander.
Okay. I think he's going to, as he walks, use Call Earth to move some of the earth out of the way, like any big boulders. So he's going to be like really focusing on, like, as he walks, sort of trying to make the path in front of them as clear as possible.
Okay, I like it. So
does that work? Yeah. So obviously I will lose a PowerPoint for that, but yes.
So you're going to, basically what we'll do is I'm gonna have you roll spellcasting, and that's gonna be what you use for the successes here, and it's at a +2 for the illumination bonus.
That's a 5.
A 5. That is 1 success. Is that with the +2?
Yes.
That would still be just 1 success. That's okay. So 1 success, and every time, and so what I'm going to say is you are basically able to, as something comes up, kind of push it out of the way. So you're making it a little easier. I'm going to say for everyone gets a one-time additional bonus because you're moving some stuff out of the way as they move. So the next time everybody goes, you get a +3 instead. Okay. That was Leander. Next up is Hadrian. What would you like to do?
He's as he's moving, he wants to try to be as quiet as possible. Like he's focusing on just containing his breath. He's freaking out. He's able to see in the dark, like right now because of Bertram, but he's just he's trying to just keep himself together. So I'm gonna try to roll for stealth if I can.
Stealth, I like it. Yeah. Make a stealth roll.
I'm gonna use a reroll.
Okay. Using a reroll.
Okay. That is a 5.
5. That is a success. All right. So you are able to very quietly. You're just trying to step gently and really watching where you're putting your feet to avoid making any noise, stepping on a branch or something that would pop. All right. Next up is Rowan.
Okay. I'm at the back. I see the 2 boys in front of me, very nervous. I think Rowan would kind of like whisper, like encouraging words, like, okay, we got this. We're gonna do this together. Don't worry, I'm right behind you. Like, just making sure that they're at ease and constantly looking back in case something comes up from behind.
Okay, so that would be persuasion.
Oh no. I get -1. Okay.
Well, you have a +3. You have a
This is
+3,
true.
so
This
yeah.
is very true. Okay, we're gonna use the +3. Thank you for my +3. Here we go. 3, 4, 5.
5. Okay, that is a success. Yeah,
Alright.
you all kind of hear Rowan whispering behind you. Bertram, it is now your turn. What would you like to do?
Okay, so we are in an underground tunnel. That's the deal.
That's what it seems to
And-
be. Yeah.
That's what it seems like. And like, what's obstructing us? Like branches and stuff.
Yeah, there's like branches that are kind of that are stuck into the kind of like coming out of the side like roots, really. And then occasionally there are rocks that are kind of in the way that are kind of sharp. They're either sticking out of the side or they're down in the ground. It's like this was not cleared for people.
Sure. I'm gonna try to just force my way down the path. You know,
Like
instead
it.
of trying to
Let's
avoid
use-
it, I'm just gonna push through.
Push through it. Let's use athletics for that. Unless
Okay, I
you're
believe
using
I'm
your
at-
tomahawks, you could also do fighting. Either one.
Wait, can I ask a question? What does clubs do on a dramatic task again?
-2.
You get a -2. Yeah, so you'll be
Alright.
at a +1, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not too bad this go. And then you don't want to crit fail.
Aced it
Oh.
There you go.
for a total of 11.
Ooh.
Nice.
11. That is good. And that's going to, let's see, so 4, 11. That is 1 raise. So you get 2 successes. Awesome. All right. Yeah, you're able to, there are a few branches. You just kind of push through them, some roots. They're kind of bendy, so they kind of like snap back a little bit, but not too bad. You're able to push through. All right.
Yeah.
Next round. Hadrian, you've got a 10 of spades. We've got a joker for Bertram. Holy shit. Sorry. Holy crap. Because that's going to do is give everybody a Benny. Bertram.
Yes.
Yay.
You guys have a ridiculous amount of bennies. This is nuts.
Well, you said we needed.
Bertram,
Goodness.
you now will be at a +2, so you will be at a +4.
Wow.
For this next
Nice.
one, you can go at any time.
Wow.
All right. Next up is a King of Hearts for Leander.
Ooh.
We've got a 6 of clubs for
Yeah, I'm gonna change
Rowan.
mine. Mhm.
Okay, and a 2 of hearts for Piper. Rowan, you want another card with a Benny.
Yes,
You've got an 8 of
please.
hearts, so that's better.
Thank you.
You have enough
All right.
bennies, Diana?
You're welcome.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have 7 now.
Now she's in line with the rest of us, you guys.
So many bennies.
Thanks.
Insane. Okay.
I think I'm
So
gonna go first.
next up, you're gonna go first. All right. So as you decide to do whatever you're going to do, Bertram, you hear that laugh. Again, you can't tell if it's in your head or you're not sure. I mean, you look back, nobody seems to react. What would you like to do?
Everyone quiet for a second.
What is it?
No. Who's right behind me?
Me.
I think it's Leander.
Okay. It's just, we might not be alone here, so
What?
step where I step.
What?
Okay, not late.
What?
Don't worry about it. I'm gonna try to. I'm going to go with stealth this time, just really
Okay.
quietly.
Okay.
That was very close to bad. I'm gonna use one of my bennies, my newfound benny.
Okay. All right.
Okay, that was better. So that's a 9.
A 9. That is another success with a raise. So that is 2 successes total. You are able to now. You all notice. Piper certainly notices that all the sound that was behind her before has gotten a lot quieter. Okay. Next is Leander. What would you like to do? You are at a +3 this go because you didn't get that before, I believe.
Right. So hearing that there's someone potentially around, he's going to ask Willow sort of on his shoulder to see if Willow has any idea where something could, like, someone is, like if Willow has heard. So he's gonna like, Willow, Bertram said someone's in here with us. Can you help us find them?
Okay, she says, and she starts to kind of try to flit around your head a little bit, but right as you say that, you hear fairly loudly in your ear, "Who, me?" And the voice sounds familiar, but you're not sure who it is.
Shh, keep it quiet, Leander.
Leander, are you okay?
I think so. There's someone in here. Bertram, you're right. But I don't know who or where. And he's more afraid now than he was before. So great.
It makes sense. All right. Did you already go?
I didn't roll
you haven't
anything.
You didn't roll.
So roll notice, right? Or,
Yeah, you can roll notice for that. Mhm.
where's... ooh! That's a 8.
An 8! That is a success with a raise. Very good. All right.
Oh, wait, no. It's more than that. Wait, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's actually an 11.
11.
I didn't add the...
1 below 2 raises. Still very good. All right. Next is Hadrian.
Boy. Well, Bertram's talking about there's somebody here. I just heard Leander start to freak out. I'm gonna try and notice roll as well, because I'm just like, no. And we're at what, a +2 or 3?
2.
If you didn't have, I don't think. Oh, you did have those, so just +2 for you.
Okay. Woo! There's one explosion.
Yay.
Hey, another explosion! Come on, baby.
Ooh.
Another explosion! Take that!
Whoa!
And another explosion! Oh, that is freaking out! And oh my god, guys! Ah,
Oh
that's
my
another
god!
one.
Come upstairs and be like,
I don't
"What
even
is
know how
going
many I'm at now. Okay, what was that? Was that 5 or 6?
That was
Whatever that.
oh.
That's 5.
Oh,
That is a 29.
Whoa! That's
Holy
like the highest
butts.
ever.
Okay, that's 6 raises. So,
Hattie's just like
okay.
looking with his eyeballs.
So, Hadrian, you somehow just take a moment to really focus all of your senses. And you notice a few things when that happens. You notice another face out of the corner of your eye.
Oh no.
It's almost like it's in the dirt. You don't even have to look at it. You can see it and you recognize it instantly. Of course you would, because it is your face. Except it's not your face. But it's someone's face you know very well, and they just smile, and then they're gone. When that happens, you see a bit of light ahead. You have found the way out of this darkness. It starts to dissipate, at least for you, but everyone else seems a little lost, at least as of yet.
Okay. I would say guys, I think I might have found the way out. And I want to start stepping towards it.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to. And as you say that, everyone kind of looks your direction, and you all are as well able to see there's a bit of a light ahead. It kind of looks like the ground is going up a little ways, and you are able to follow, and you successfully got through this dramatic task with all of those crazy raises. You did it in 2 rounds, not even.
Wow.
Good job.
Yeah, it was all Hattie. Hattie, thank you.
Hattie and your one eye. Your evil
Ah.
eye.
So as you all head forward, Piper kind of stops, and you see that it looks like the passageway has opened up. You can't even quite see how much because you're still kind of in this tunnel. But as the rest of you start to come out and look around, you see that you're in a much larger space, still underground. And in front of you is some light. And it also looks like there's a giant pit, a drop-off of some kind. There is a branch, and on that branch, on either side, balanced over another branch, are 2 cages. In one cage, you see a group of children. As you come in, they look at you and say, "Help! Help us! Help!" And in the other cage, you see Eden Lobo.
What? Does she look evil?
She looks like Eden, as far as you can tell. And she is kind of sitting to the side, and she turns around when she sees you all, and where are you, Eden? There you are. And she says, Oh, I'm so glad you all have come. I don't know how I ended up here, but please help me out of here. I'm not a huge fan of heights. And the children continue also to beg for your help. Yes, Bertram.
We're still underground. There's like a tree branch over a pit, right? Where's the light coming from?
It looks like behind them there's kind of a wall a little bit ways away, and there's a torch on it.
Okay.
And then,
Go ahead, Leander. Sorry.
Leander, yeah.
I want to, seeing Eden, I just whisper or say out to Eden, "How long have you been here?"
I don't know. I don't remember. I was back in my home, and then I was here. It's like I slept and then awoke in this place.
Do you remember talking to us, asking us to come into the forest today?
Of course I do.
How could she? And then he looks at the rest of the group. How could she be here? She was way behind us. She's the one who told us to come in here.
Of course I told you to come here. But now I need your help. Please help me.
Can we roll like a sense motive?
Yeah,
Savage
insight.
Worlds. Oh, insight? Yeah. No, that's D&D.
No, that's
so-
just my.
Yeah, for these purposes, it would essentially be notice. So
Okay.
yeah, let me look quick. Yes. Make notice. Just make a notice roll. Basic notice roll, if you would like. Anyone who wants to.
Yes, I do. 4. I just want to see if she
4?
looks like she's telling the truth.
Well,
Okay.
I was instead
4.
of rolling for that, I wanted to try one of my powers if I could.
Okay. All right. So let me resolve this first. Leander, were you rolling as well?
I'm not. I'm too shocked. I think. I feel like I'm
Okay.
taking what she says as truth, at least for the moment. But I want.
Really.
Yeah, after I have something else. Not
Okay.
notice.
So real quick, this is I got a 4, and then that was it right now. All right. So I mean, you both look at Eden, and it really seems like Eden as far as you can tell. Seems strange, but it looks like Eden. It sounds like Eden. Seems to be Eden.
I'm gonna look at the children and
Mhm,
kind of
okay.
walk closer to them and ask
Okay.
them, who put you in here? Who is it that's doing this?
So one little girl kind of comes up to the front, and she just kind of looks at you, and then she raises her arm and she points at Bertram.
Oh,
That's freaking kids.
no. No.
That okay, but he's been here this whole time, and I don't. Okay,
Okay, well, where did
seems
he
like-
go after he put you in here?
she kind of looks at you, says, I thought he was still here. I don't know. We've been
What's
here for a
down
long
there?
time.
I point to the
I
pit.
don't know. It's dark and it looks far. I don't know.
Can I do like sort of
Piper-
a lap? Can I do a lap around this
Yeah.
room? I just want to see like if there are other exits or entrances, like what the porch is about.
Yeah. Also, Hadrian, was there something you wanted to do before we move on?
Yeah, you said she was in a cage. Yeah. Is the cage?
Yes.
Is there a lid on top of the cage, or is it like open bars as well too?
It kind of looks like a series of branches that somebody has woven together, almost like they've woven it around the person.
Okay.
So you can't really see an opening.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say, wanted to look up at like the ceiling, and it looks like all dirt and everything, right? Underground
Mhm,
cavern and stuff. I wanted to see if through the dirt and everything, I could force some water to come down and start dripping on her. Just see
On
if I
which
could
one?
get on shoot, what's her
Eden?
name?
Eden?
Eden. Yeah.
Eden? Yeah. So you're trying to see if you could get it like up to the ceiling, or just see if you can.
No,
Kinda get it
just
over there, is
see
that what you're
if I can get any moisture coming down from the dirt ceiling or anything to drip down on her, because I want to cast a spell on her. Use one of my powers on her.
Okay. Let's do it like this. I'm gonna say, use your spell casting, make a roll. Let's make it at a -2 to see if you can find the water.
Okay. That's fair. A 4. No, that's not gonna do it.
You want to re-roll?
I'm gonna use a Benny. Use one of my Bennies. I got
Okay.
a bunch of those. Use a
Okay.
Benny.
Just a Benny, whatever.
No, not gonna happen. Okay.
Anybody but us.
No, that's okay.
Okay, do you want to... Okay.
No, I'm
So-
not gonna use another bed.
You try and reach out with your senses to see if you notice any water nearby, and it seems fairly dry, or at least so hard packed in that you can't just seem to find it in this particular location. Okay. Bertram, you said, Leander, did you have something as well?
Yeah, I just want Willow to sort of take a look at the situation. Willow was the only one who could see through whatever was attacking before.
Okay.
I think Leander is looking at Eden, hearing what Eden says, is saying, okay, that's strange, understanding that, and he looks over where probably a Willow is still buzzing around, and he says, is anything strange here, Willow?
A look.
Yes.
So you can make a notice roll for her, and she's gonna buzz about. And Bertram, you wanted to walk around and see if you could find any other like exits or anything like that.
Yeah, just see if this. Go ahead.
Make a notice roll. Bertram as well. What did Willow get?
A 9.
9. Okay, so
Willow.
you just want her to kind of look and see if anything is strange, right?
Yeah, like if anything's strange.
So as Willow flies around, she kind of comes back. She says, Eden, strange. Eden, strange.
Thank you, friend. And who would be standing near me? Bertram and
probably Bertram.
Well,
and
Bertram's actually
Hadrian.
searching the room, right?
That's
I'm
true.
taking a walk.
Oh, so I think he would.
Hadrian.
I'd be next to you.
I would
Sit together.
look at Hadrian and sort of just kind of lean over towards Hadrian and sort of whispers, there's something off about Eden. That Willow couldn't tell me what it was, but that it's I don't know if we should be trusting her.
I was getting that same feeling too.
Okay.
Bertram, what did you get for your notice?
4.
4. Yeah, so you look around. What you see in this room is basically where we have come out. There's kind of a space to stand that goes all the way to walls on either side. And then there's just an opening where the cages are. And they're back a little ways. So there's no pathway around the other side of the room from where they are or anything like that. It's just kind of this side. It's like a ledge. But over in the corner, kind of further over to the right, you notice there were some branches and some like foliage. It was kind of covering an area, and there is actually another path. Looks like a tunnel that continues off another direction.
Hey, Marth, or you know what?
Huh?
No, not you, Marth. Not Lise. One of you guys got the cat and the bird, right?
Yes.
There's another tunnel over here. I don't know if it's gonna lead to the other side of this pit or somewhere else, but it might be worth a little look-see, and maybe
Shadow.
the bird or the cat can do it quieter.
Shadow could go. And you kind of see Shadow kind of, she hops down and she rubs on Piper's leg. And she kind of, you all know Shadow to be similar to Piper. She's a little bit stuck up. She kind of goes past Bertram and kind of like gives you extra space and glares at you.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, Bertram, Shadow has always done that. You've noticed other animals doing that lately too, and it kind of stands out to you as extra strange. But she continues on, and she goes down this tunnel, and you see that Piper's eyes kind of glaze over and change into the same yellow-green of Shadow's eyes. And you know, Rowan, especially you and Leander would know that she's looking through Shadow's eyes currently. She just says, "It looks like there's path." And then she kind of goes quiet for a bit. She says, There's more children. There's more of them. Shadow, come back." And her eyes kind of come back to normal. She says, There's another tunnel, and there's a cage at the end, and there's just a group of children in a cage there as well."
Over a pit?
Didn't know it was just there. It wasn't over a pit.
And is there any...
As
Meghan,
Go ahead.
is there, like, anything on the other side of this, like, pit? Like a landing, or just go straight to the wall?
Straight to the wall.
Okay.
And as everyone's kind of looking around, Eden says, "I don't mean to press you, but I don't know how well this rope will hold." And as you all look, she looks up at the rope that's holding on. You can kind of see it's just tied on with some fairly basic knots. Children's as well. They could potentially fall at any point.
Okay, so it's not, it doesn't look like a seesaw type of thing, like if we undo one, the other one's gonna go, or it does.
That is
it does,
exactly-
it does.
Does look.
Exactly
Yeah.
how it looks. Yes.
Cool. I want to play a little game.
I like that one Eden equals a lot of children.
I was just thinking that too.
Yeah.
Leander, that
I
means
mean-
it's not Eden.
Well,
That's true.
How
Right.
far out are these cages?
They're a good. There's a good amount of space here. Probably a yard or more from any of the walls or the landing.
you want to use your pole, Adrian?
Yeah,
Is that what you were
if it's,
doing?
huh? Yeah, if it's the safe, I can do that. What about Eden? I mean, the kids are who we came for, but it kind of reaches in like to
Okay.
Bertram and the other three and say,
Well, maybe
we
someone
don't-
can
we don't-
help hold her cage up while you take care of the kids, and then we'll come over and help Eden.
"Oh,
Bro, no one can reach that far.
Oh, I'm sorry. How
Well-
high is it up?
It's over the
It's
pit.
not high.
It's over
It's
the
just
pit.
really.
Over the
It's
pit.
far away over the pit. What? Leander, I know that you are very capable with vines and things like that, and
Yeah.
arguably so are you, Rowan. Maybe if you all could somehow, I don't know, grab them and pass it back with your vines. I don't know how easy that would be, but thought.
No,
Try.
you're right. I'll try.
Yeah.
Let's do it together, right, Rowan?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Hattie's gonna walk up,
so-
stick his hand on Leander's shoulder, and Leander, you just
Mm-hmm.
feel like your mind just kind of start to expand. I want to cast boost trait on you for your spell casting
it.
to bump it up one.
Nice.
I like it. Make a spellcasting roll.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Let me see.
5.
5. Yeah, that is a success. So you will be able to boost that
Ooh.
by 1 die type, I believe. Is that right, or is
Ooh,
it
and that
plus
gives
1?
me. Gives
Just
me a
one. If
10.
I would have gotten a raise, I could have boosted up by 2. But it's just a single.
It's a
so
die
you-
type, right?
Yep, one die type.
Is that right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so you go up 1 die type for, I believe, 5 rounds. So that's, we'll say that's like, it's long enough for you to do this.
Okay.
Piper will also come up to Leander, and she puts her hand on you, and she says, "I believe in you. This family has power. No matter whether or not we are blood related. And she kind of focuses, and you feel, hopefully, this energy move into you. She's going to, I'm going to use spellcasting support. What is my spellcasting? 8.
I feel like we're about to see the Sanderson sisters come
Woo!
out.
Aced it. Woo! I got a 9. So you get an additional +2 to this roll.
Wow.
Anyone else, you can also support. You can have up to a +4 if anyone else wants to support, or just support Rowan. But it looks like, Leander, you're going first.
I think
you basically, it's much, you roll a trait that makes sense, and if you succeed, you add a +1. If you get a raise, you add a +2.
Can I boost her up too, or simply boosted him?
Yeah, I mean, as long as you have the power points, you can also recast. And
I'm good.
boost.
Yeah, I'll boost Rowan as well. See if I can
Okay.
get that off. I'm gonna re-roll that one.
Okay.
Nice. That's a 5. So you also get your die type
5.
goes up 1, Diana, for
My die type
spellcasting.
goes
Yep.
up?
Yes.
Yeah.
So instead
Yep,
of
so
that,
you're gonna
D10,
roll.
you have a
A
D12.
D12?
Yeah. Yes, you'll roll a D12 for this. as
Never
well.
roll D12s.
You feel that same thing too. You kind of just feel like your mind just kind of like open up and expand more, and you just feel like that magical energy start to course through you more as well.
So,
Okay.
what is the plan? Are you all going to go for one? Piper's just going to turn to you and say, "Okay, so I think the best way that we could potentially do this is if each of you try to grab with vine or however you want to these cages at the same time,
Okay.
unless you all
Yes.
think we should only go for one of them. But no, or unless somebody has a better idea."
He
I
he,
think
he
that's the
thinks for
plan.
a second. Yeah. He walks over to Rowan, and looks at sort of Adrian, who he already let in, and he tells her just to watch Eden very carefully, because it's very very strange that she's here, and he doesn't want to like say that he doesn't trust Eden, but he doesn't trust Eden.
All right.
So he's going for the kids. He's definitely doing the kids one.
Okay.
Alright.
I guess I'll try to support then. I'm the only person that hasn't helped.
Okay. Okay.
I will give Leander a pep talk. Yeah. I think that's all I can
We'll
do,
use
really.
persuasion. That would be persuasion.
Ooh, I'm good at that. Let's see. You mess this up, you're gonna kill a bunch of kids, Leander. Keep that in mind.
Whoa, that's a threat.
Yeah,
I rolled
that's
like
more
a
of
1 and a
threat,
2.
but- Got it.
Yeah. You just kind of, you don't feel worse, but you don't feel better, Leander.
And it's sort of like a
Uh,
smack on the back. That's like a little too hard. Like,
That's a 12. That's a
you,
12.
did you roll?
Oh, you rolled.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna roll.
I just rolled. Yeah.
Okay, so you got a 12. Okay.
I was waiting for
See?
him to see if it went up more, but it's a 12.
that was a good
So,
pep talk.
what did you get, Rowan?
I'm gonna use my reroll. 'Cause that's 2 twos.
Okay.
I love how the 12
Okay.
like literally slowly rolled in my dice tray like 8, 12,
Oh.
7.
Okay. So, you got a 7 and we got a 12. So, you both are able to get, we'll say, if you're both planning to use, like, vines, is that correct?
Yes, whatever's
So,
on the earth.
there are lots of roots in this area, and you are able to grow them out. I'm gonna say, both of you make an athletics roll at a -2 to see if you can get there at the same time.
-2. Okay. Very bad.
No.
athletics.
Die.
Crit failed.
Ooh.
I didn't kill children this time!
That's true. You did it.
All my
You
characters
did it.
that I play.
You said -2.
Not
I'm
yet.
gonna
Minus 2,
re-roll.
yeah.
I'm gonna re-roll.
Okay.
So I'm using a Benny. I'm using one of my Bennies.
Okay. Using a Benny to reroll.
You haven't killed any children so far, Diana.
Ooh.
This is true.
Wait. That's 10 minus 2. That's 8.
8.
So we
Okay.
tried to do it at the
So-
same time, but
At the same time, you all try to synchronize getting these vines to come out. You see it. It's happening. You get there. Leander, you get a really good grip on it. And it's not even... This branch that this is balancing on is not super even. And Rowan, as you go in, it almost starts to fall because Leander gets there just a little bit quicker. And you're able to grab the cage. And at the same time as you all pull them, they both come kind of flying down and hit the wall. But whenever it hits, Rowan, whenever it hits, you lose grip. And the cage falls, and you just see Eden screaming, reaching out as she falls into darkness. But Leander...
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say if I can run to the edge of the pit and cast again, but that's a crit fail, so I doubt that can happen. Don't worry about it.
I mean, you can try.
Just an
You
old
can
lady.
certainly
Can I
try.
try?
I'll say you can try to -2.
Okay, and then do I still use No, I'm not getting courage.
Yeah.
No.
I'll say you can because it does. I mean, it lasts 5 rounds, which is, 6 seconds per round. But I'll say you can have
Okay, that's a 9 on the die.
a 9. Okay, so you reach out, and that's with a raise. So you're able to grab on to that cage, and you kind of use another vine, and you feel like you've got it. It's hard to tell. It's hard to see. That's very dark down there. It reminds you of the tunnel. Leander, you were able to grab, and you both start to use your power to pull these up. And you are able to pull these cages all the way up. But Rowan, when you get yours up, there's no one in it. But the other cage does have a group of children, and you all are able to get them out, and they all kind of cluster around as far away from Bertram as they can get.
Is Eden Lobo's cage like broken, like she fell out of it, or it's just like empty?
It's just empty.
I don't understand.
What happened?
Can someone cast light down there?
no, I don't think we need to. And he turns to the group. I don't think that was Eden.
What do you mean?
I told you to watch her because Willow saw something very strange about her. In the tunnels, I heard a very familiar voice. I think it's the same thing we saw in the woods earlier. I think that was a trick of that creature we heard about, the one that can change its shape.
The night haunts.
Eden's not...
That
Yes.
Eden told us about.
Yes. Willow
Okay.
was able to see through it the last time, so I thought it would be a good idea to see. And she said it was strange. She said, Eden, strange. I don't think that was her.
Well, that's good. I mean, and that she's okay. Hopefully
that
back
also means
where we
that-
left her.
But that also means we're still in here with whatever that was.
Yeah.
It's true.
I think we need to hurry
I
then
think-
and just focus on the children in the other room.
You're right. I agree, Rowan. I also
Please.
think at this point, there have been a lot of very scary things, and I've avoided too many fear checks, but let's make one for the overall darkness and such. No negatives, so Hadron, you'll just be at a -1 now. Which is way better.
So much better.
So as you kind of have this moment, you just have
I failed again.
a all rolling over. Oh no! Oh, crit fail.
Yeah, I got double ones again.
Okay, then I need you to roll a fear check at a +2. So make a d20 roll at a +2.
Oh, a d20?
That crit fail.
Yeah.
Yes.
No wild die with that, right?
No wild die.
Okay, here we go.
What did everybody else get?
20.
No, Diana!
Better than getting above a 20. I'll say that much. You now have a
Wait.
major phobia. You
Pits?
can choose.
Cages?
It could be fear of almost killing Eden in your mind. I mean, whatever makes sense to you. Could be fear of darkness. Yeah, it could be fear of cages, being imprisoned. I'll let you decide, but it is now a major phobia, which means that whenever you are in the presence of that thing, you are at a -2 to everything you do during that time.
Welcome to the club.
It's better than
I'm
above a 20. All I'm saying.
I'm a double
It could've
member
been
now.
worse.
I didn't
Okay,
even know you
what
could
did
go above
everyone-
a 20. That's terrifying.
You can. That's where that plus comes in. You can, and it is not great. What did everyone else get for their spirit roll?
A 4.
4, 5,
Ooh.
11.
11. Okay, and I should also have
It's like, oof, go away.
this real quick. Okay, 5. All right. So you all kind of have a moment to just take in everything that has happened. Eden not being there is startling, is very strange. But for the most part, everyone's able to keep their cool. But Rowan does not seem to be feeling good. You can see her just standing there staring at the empty cage. The children have been saved, but something happened with Eden, if it was her at all. But to find out what happens next, you'll have to stick around after our break. Because we're going to take a quick bio break.
Ah, goodness.
See you guys in a few.
Return!
We'll be back!
Norse Foundry Dice of Chris was filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Where's Adam? I mean, we were supposed to start 20 minutes ago.
Oh, yeah, I think he said he was picking up some new dice.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
There he is! Yeah!
Did you get him?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we're gonna pick up right where we left off last time. You guys were surrounded in the Dread Knight's tomb by this horde of goblins. They're coming right at you. We're starting this off hot. Roll initiative.
20.
20?
20?
I guess you guys are going first. What do you do?
I'm gonna charge in with my axe and wreck the first goblin I see.
I'm gonna target one of the goblins with Scorching Ray.
All right.
I'm gonna take an arrow and I'm gonna shoot the toughest goblin there.
Groovy, you guys line up all of your attacks. Let's roll the dice and see what happens.
20!
20?
20!
You guys are really rolling hot tonight.
Yeah, must be these new dice we got from Norse Foundry.
Far out, those things look really amazing.
Don't worry, Jim. I got one for you too. Here you go.
Thanks. You know what? I almost feel bad using it now because it's time for the goblins' counterattack. Here comes the first one. Critically failed.
Crazy!
All right, on to round 2. You guys hear drums in the distance, orc war drums. Backup is on the way. What do you do?
Okay, all right, so I'm gonna take, like, my spell component punch.
that's it. You've defeated the Dread Knight. You've ended his dark curse. You gather up all the remaining treasure and you take it back to King Trillion's keep and tell him that his kingdom is safe. That's the end of the adventure.
Oh, man. Awesome.
What do you guys think? Same time next week?
Definitely.
We'll be here.
Thanks, Jim. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, Jim. Great game today. Can't wait to see what you cook up for the next adventure.
Yeah, anytime, Con. I have a feeling that things are gonna get pretty wild next week.
Get your Norse Foundry Dice of Crits today with only one easy payment of $8. Remember, one easy payment for one groovy die. Sale won't last forever. Get yours while supplies last at norsefoundry.com/Kickstarter and make every roll a crit.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. What's up?
Oh, nothing. It's just someone took the last of the coffee and didn't make any more.
Well, it wasn't me. I don't even drink coffee.
No, I wasn't really blaming you.
Then what?
Well, I was just...
Oh, I get it.
I'm sorry. I didn't even know you were there.
But I'm always there, Matthew. I'm Jesus.
Okay.
Did you not get the memo? The part right here? Thou shalt not take my name in vain?
I actually did not get that.
Maybe we should revisit this part. About lies.
We don't really need to do that. I'm sorry. It won't happen again.
I hope not. You don't hear me running around the office yelling, Matthew Johnson, every time I stub my toe or get a pube caught in my zipper.
What?
Matthew, I'm going to forgive you. It's kind of what I do. But watch yourself, okay?
God damn it.
Yeah. What's up?
Oh, nothing?
Oh my
God damn it.
Stay back when you turn, Dad.
He had his freaking finger out of his...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Also, like how you went right into lens. You're like, lens, wrong.
Yes.
Inappropriate sound is inappropriate. Don't let the action suffer from a lack of atmosphere. Let Sirenscape set the tone and bring your game to life. See? That's better. Journey to Sirenscape.com to download the app and make it the year of atmosphere at your table. And be sure to watch Dragons and Things every Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific on Twitch.
Hey guys, welcome back to Tabletop Treasures. I'm your host, Adam Kahn, and recently I received a phone call from Jamie here in Los Angeles asking me to come over and check out something pretty unique. I'm really excited to see what she's got for us today. Let's go check it out. Hey Jamie, how's it going?
Hi, great.
Adam, pleasure to meet you. So you called me, you told me you had something really cool to show me, is that right?
Yeah, I received these dice from my brother last winter as a gift, and I knew once I saw the quality and craftsmanship that I had to get them evaluated.
Have you asked them how much you paid for these?
No.
Well, you know what, why don't we go inside and take a closer look? Guys, wow, this is pretty awesome. It's a company called Tabletop Loot, and their website, tabletoploot.com, is where you can pick up a whole variety of amazing dice and gaming accessories.
That is fascinating.
Indeed, and you know what else? This company also donates dice to schools and to clubs all across the Americas. They give kids an opportunity to have materials so they can play role-playing tabletop games.
Really? That is so sweet.
That's right, and check this out. If you look at the dice, you can see these vibrant, beautiful colors. This right here is called Pink Lemonade. And Tabletop Loot, they have a variety and dozens of different colors that you can choose from, and some are even said to be glow in the dark.
So, what would you say something like this is worth?
Well, depending on the materials that they're made out of and how much love goes into actually molding these dice, you could get a set just like this on the market today for $8 plus shipping.
That is so affordable. I could get each of my characters a set and some for my friends.
That's a fantastic idea. Make sure that you go to tabletoploot.com. Check out all the amazing different varieties of dice and gaming products that they have to offer.
Tabletop Treasures may not be real, but Tabletop Loot definitely is. Get your own set of dice and some for your friends too at tabletoploot.com. And be sure to watch Dragons and Things every Friday night on Twitch.
Hello, and welcome back, everyone, to Harbingers. Let's check in real quick before we dive back into this underground tunnel area we are in. Let's... Oh, I can't hear Diana!
Oh.
You muted?
She muted? Oh my goodness. Probably why we didn't hear.
Yeah, right? Maybe maybe reload the page?
She'll be back.
She'll be
like
back.
your glasses.
Yeah. We'll check in. Frozen
Did I
there.
bring the
We'll
glasses?
check in.
Perfect.
Check in for a moment here with our ancestors and see what they have said. We do have a few things that have popped up in the in-between. Artemis2814 has resubscribed for 5 months. Hi, Artemis. Thank you.
Nice.
Peppa Jebbas and the Glitch Gamer has followed. Thank you all very much. Quite appreciated indeed. All right. Well, we will talk about where we left off last while we wait for Diana to hopefully be able to figure out her microphone issue. Last, if you were not with us before, we just left in a room, a cavern almost of some kind, like a dirt cavern, where there was a bunch of children in a cage, and Eden, the town seer, and healer in a cage, and they tried to save both of them because it was kind of set up to where if you grabbed one, the other would fall. They did save both of them, except Eden is not there. that is where we left off last. Diana, did it work for you?
You hear me?
Oh,
yes.
Oh, so weird.
Yes, we can.
I logged in and it was muted.
Hmm.
I don't know. I thought I heard
Weird.
someone knocking on my door when I went to go use the bathroom, so I'm getting really paranoid now.
Oh no. I'm sorry.
I'm scared.
Oh no. It's working.
Let's mess
Ha! All right. So yeah, we're still back right where
ready.
we left.
Okay, now I'm ready.
Now ready.
Good.
Now ready. Now ready.
Now ready.
Important.
Monster pusher back set.
So Piper kind of turns to everyone, and she goes over to Rowan, and she's just like, Rowan, it's okay. You did your best, and it seems like no matter what you were going to do, that wasn't Eden that you were going to save.
What's going
So,
on?
I don't know, but there were more children that Shadow saw, and we should go and get them.
Yeah, I don't think we should leave the kids here, though.
I would have made my way over to be next to the kids while everybody was
Okay.
chatting and checking.
Well, what do we do? Should we, we could send them back. It is a straight path, but that seems dangerous, so they must
Dark.
come with us. Unless we're going to split up, which doesn't seem like a good plan either.
No.
No, I think a couple of us will take the lead with the kids in the middle and then follow behind them. We don't want to lose anyone.
I think that's a good plan. But Bertram, you might take the lead, because they don't seem to want to be anywhere near you.
I was going to take the lead anyways.
So there are about 5 kids, who are here, varying ages. The oldest girl seems to be around 11, who's the one that was talking to you before. So, yeah, is there anything anyone wanted to do here before you go down this new tunnel?
I just want to talk to Rowan real quick.
Okay.
I'll just sort of pull her off to the side while other people are talking to the kids. Ro.
Yes.
You alright?
I think so.
Listen. We're just underground in the woods with something we've faced before. But we're all here together, alright? I'm not gonna let anything happen to you.
Thank you. She hugs him, like, really tight. Really tight. And, like, a couple tears come out. But she stops herself from really crying. And the fear that's coming over her about something. And she wants to make sure she looks tough and strong for Leander and Adrian. Okay.
Alright.
Piper.
I'll take the back.
Okay. Piper follows Bertram.
Hattie, when he went over to the kids, what is there one that looked the youngest or one of them that looked the most scared out of the 5?
Yeah, there's one that looks to be maybe like very young, like maybe 5 or 6, who's kind of hugging the oldest one. She's kind of just like hiding behind her.
Hattie would get down on their level. He would just look at them and be like, "Are all of you okay?"
Yeah. The littlest one kind of like looks at you and kind of hides a little bit further behind the other girl, but one of the ones standing beside her, looks a little older, says, "Yeah, I think so. We just want to go home and not be here anymore."
I know. You know what? I don't want to be here either. But can you all make me a promise? And all of you, I need you all to stick together, because if you stay together, you can be very, very brave together. That's you see all these other people that came here with me.
Yeah.
We're all trying to be super brave, and they're trying to help me be brave too. And if you all try to be brave, and we all try to be brave, I think we all can be we all can be brave together, and we all can eventually get out of here. And he kind of peeks over to like the tinier kid, and she goes, "Do you think you can be brave with me, or help me be brave too?"
The littlest one kind of peeks out from around the oldest girl and kind of looks up at her and then looks back at you and nods.
You know what? If you see anything, you tell me, and you help me try to be brave too, okay? I don't want to be here either, but I'm gonna do my best to try to be brave for all of you.
Okay, we can do that. We can do that.
Okay.
They all kind of grab each other's hands and just they look at you like they're as ready as they're gonna be.
I'll reach out my hand to either the biggest one or even the tiniest one and grab onto her hand and then start.
Okay, yeah. She'll grab your hand as well. Okay. All right, and so Rowan's behind, and Leander, you're in there, kind of in the middle as well.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, you all start to head down this path. Bertram, you're in the front, and it looks similar to the previous path, except it's not the dark. It's dark, but it's not. It doesn't feel the same kind of darkness that the other one did. And everyone make me a notice roll. Five.
8.
4.
8.
2.
4. 4.
Too focused on the kids. I got a 2.
2. Okay, yeah, so you're focused on the kids. You, Leander, as you all are walking forward, you catch something out of the corner of your eye. And as you look over, you don't see anything, but you see movement, almost like somebody walking out of your vision really quickly. But as you look around, there's no one else there, and well, if there was, they would have been in the dirt. Bertram and Piper both notice there's a bit of a light ahead. Rowan, you hear, "Why didn't you help me?"
Eden?
Don't hear anything else. No one else seemed to respond to it.
I think the
As you
dark's
can
messing with us. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Go ahead. You're in the back, so Hadrian probably would hear you. Maybe Leandro. The Leander's up, I think, a little bit further in front of the kids, so only Hattie can hear you.
Rowan, are you okay?
I think the darkness is messing with all of us. I just heard Eden in my head. Did you hear her?
Oh, I didn't hear. Don't listen to it, Rowan. It's whatever's here is gonna try to mess with you. It messed with us when we were in the woods before. You don't let it get to you. Okay?
Going forward.
So, as you all continue forward, Bertram, you kind of see around a corner, you see a cage, but you also see somebody standing in front of it. And that person is you.
I'll sort of stop in my tracks and put my hand back to stop Pipe.
What is it?
I'll lean really close to her ear so that there's someone in the cage. Children are in front of the cage.
There is? Who is it?
It looks like me.
Like you? That's what those night haunts can do, right? That's what Eden said.
You have a dagger or something.
I do. I have that, and I have my boomerang.
Okay. Here. And I'm gonna take off my poncho. So I'm just bare-chested.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a poncho on. All right.
Oh, okay. Okay. She kind of almost starts to giggle. Like, my goodness. But she says, that's a clever idea. Okay.
Yeah. So, I don't think we need to talk.
Okay.
With it, right?
What do we do? Just attack it?
Yeah, we go in and we blast it.
Okay. So.
And if we get confused, I'm not wearing a shirt.
Okay.
Sorry, it's not funny. It's not
Pass that along. So, have you turned around to say this to Piper?
Yeah.
Okay.
I assume
So
that it's not like a straight shot. It was like coming around a corner and we saw this thing, so I sort of like moved back.
Yeah, it was kind of a bend. You saw it. So,
Right.
Piper, as she's talking to you, her eyes grow really big, and she kind of starts to point. She says, and as you turn around, you see it's not you at all, but it's Ursa. It's Ursa, the elder that has been missing. And Piper says, it's not you, Bertram, it's Ursa. Ursa, where have you been? And this Ursa person, and at this point, Leander, you see this too. And she looks at Piper and she says, well, how could you have left me out here this long? You are the worst apprentice I have ever seen. And she turns around and walks back towards the children. And Piper just kind of blinks and...
Back towards the kids that we have, or back towards the caged ones?
Towards the caged ones. I don't think that's it. What? But that was Ursa. That's who we're looking for. Piper kind of
that
goes.
Only Ursa would know.
I'm going to go into Willow's eyes.
Okay.
And look for myself.
Okay.
Yeah. So you see his eyes sort of roll back. Instead of like cat-like eyes, very bird avian-like eyes.
I like it. Bird eyes.
I got a 6 for the notice roll.
6 for notice. Okay.
What do I see?
Well, you turn the Willow kind of flies off, and as she comes around this corner, you see Stanley standing there, and he turns around and he looks directly at Willow, and as fast as he can, he reaches out to grab her. Make an athletics roll for Willow. Or if she doesn't, does she have athletics?
Yeah, she has athletics, yeah.
Okay. Sure. We'll do athletics for this. But one moment before you roll, because it is an opposed roll.
Ooh.
Okay. Make your roll.
I don't like that. 5.
Would you like to keep it?
No. I'm gonna re-roll that.
Okay.
6, 4, 10.
10?
Yep.
So as Stanley goes to grab Willow, in the last moment, Willow is fast enough. She flits up and she flits away, kind of panicking, and she buzzes back over to you saying, I don't like. But she doesn't tell you any more than that. As far as she can tell, that person is Stanley.
Yeah, and having seen Stanley as well, I'm just going to, for a second, because we're in a corridor, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was feeling very brave before seeing Stanley, and then sort of watching all of that transpire, he sort of backs up into the side of the wall, and he's breathing very quickly. He's trying to calm himself. It's not him. It can't be him.
I think that's a good point. I think both Leander and Piper should make fear checks.
Yeah.
No negatives.
Yeah. Ooh, I got very opposites. I got a 1 and an 8. So that's the highest on that dice. So 8, 4. That's a 12.
Nice. Yeah, so you're able to take a moment and calm down. Piper got a 6. Piper is clearly preoccupied, but hasn't freaked out. Neither has Leander.
Yeah. I mean, I think he almost freaked out though. He's definitely barely holding on, I think. I mean, even with that I think for him, he's doing his best.
So Piper says, "Okay, I think you're right, Bertram. We should just go and deal with whatever that thing is, or if it's Ursa or you."
Ursa?
I saw Ursa.
I saw Stanley.
You did?
Yeah.
This must be one of the night haunts then. Okay. Right. Well, it knows we're here. So
let's go.
Okay.
He looks back at Hattie. I just want to look at Hattie and just give him a nod to sort of keep watching the kids. It's about to go down, apparently.
Okay. So, Bertram, you start heading that direction, and you see yourself standing there. And as you come nearer, was there anything you wanted to do as you were heading that direction over to this creature? Or do you want to just get close?
I think I want to go around the corner and immediately shoot my crossbow.
Okay. All right. Make a shooting roll.
Uh, 5.
A 5. Okay, and so you go right around the corner and you aim your crossbow and you shoot. You aim right at your own back. And it goes right into it and all the way through it. You don't see where it goes on the other side because this Bertram turns around and it just laughs. And as it laughs, it sounds an awful lot like that woman's voice you hear in your head every once in a while. And it comes back flying at you, not even touching the ground. And you notice the earth in this tunnel starts to fall. It starts to hit the walls, and the light changes, and you can't even see where it went. It's just gone. But this tunnel is starting to collapse. You all notice this as well. So this is going to be another dramatic task in which we have to get these children out of here before this tunnel collapses, right? You need 20 successes in, I shouldn't have closed that. 20 successes in 3 rounds. All right,
so the children in the cage or the children next to us?
Well, you've got the children.
If we want to save the kids in the cave.
Yeah, there are children in the cage as well.
It'll be easier.
It's very true. All right, first up, Hadrian, you got an ace of clubs. Clubs, unfortunately, will give you that -2. Oh God, we've got a 2 of clubs for Bertram.
Oh.
Oh, farts.
Got a 3 of diamonds for Leander. A 10 of clubs for Rowan. Holy crap. And for Piper, we have a 4 of diamonds. Alright, would anyone like to spend a Benny to get a different card? Rowan, you get an 8 of diamonds. Okay, Hadrian will get a Jack of diamonds. Anyone else? Okay. Bertram will get a King of spades. Alright, those that worked out for everyone. Alright, that means, Bertram, you are up first with your King of spades. So you now, this thing is no longer in front of you, it's just the cage and the children. What would you like to do?
I would like to run forward, like push my way through the falling dirt or whatever, and run forward to the kids in the cage.
Okay. All right. So let's make that an athletics roll. And I should tell you, 5. That is a success. I should tell you all, this is, I forget the name of it, but this is a dangerous encounter, which means if you fail, gotta remember, if you fail, you can take a wound. So avoid those failures. All right, so you're able to get there. Next up is Hadrian. What would you like to do, Hadrian? The tunnel around you is starting to kind of crumble, pieces here and there.
Jeez. I'm going to. Okay, because I know the kids are probably freaking out. I am going to. Jeez. Yeah. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna reach into. Oh, I don't want to do that all the time. I'm gonna try to persuade the kids to calm down and stay as close to me as they possibly can.
Okay.
I'm gonna try a persuasion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. That's one explosion. Okay, that is a 6 with an explosion.
6 with an explosion. Okay, that is one success. So you kind of turn to the kids and just whisper a little bit to them. They are a little anxious, but you seem to help calm them down a little bit.
I want them to like be stuck to me like glue. So just all of them, this group that I have, crowd around me and just hold on to me best that they can.
Okay, yeah, they're staying very close to you. Next up is Rowan. Rowan, what would you like to do? You're in the back.
2 things. One, is the earth collapsing around us or where the kids are in the cage?
Both.
I guess I'll start running forward, but as soon as I see the cage, my phobia kicks in.
Okay. Phobia of cages. All right, I like it. So you will be at a -2 at that point. So you're running. Let's just make that. We'll just make that athletics. Make an athletics roll.
Okay, my 4 explodes. 4,
That's good.
6, 7 -2, so that's a 5.
Nice.
5. Okay, that's still a success. All right, nice. Okay, next up is Piper. Piper's gonna follow Bertram as well to get up next to the cage. I'm gonna say I'll use athletics for that. Athletics. Oh, great. Okay. Ooh, I'm gonna use a Benny to re-roll that. Wasn't quite enough. Like to do a little better, so we use one of Piper's bennies. All right. Okay, I aced it on my 4. I got a 6. That's a success. All right, I'll take it. So Piper is up next to you, Bertram, and Rowan, you're not too far behind. Next is Leander. Leander, what would you like to do?
So we have 2 people doing that. We have these kids. I'm going to focus and cast protection on the group of children. So
Okay.
vines are going to spring from the ground. There's 5 of them. That'll be 5 extra points. Plus, it's a lot. But I would try to help the kids as much as I can as well. So,
okay. All right. So we'll use that spell casting roll. Whatever you get will be your amount of successes as well.
All right. 5.
5. Yeah, that is a success. 1 success. And you are able to successfully protect the kids. Hadrian, you notice as you're there, all of a sudden these vines come up and start to kind of create this protective barrier around the children. All right, that was 1 round down. You got to get 20 successes. You have 15 left.
And 2 rounds left?
In 2 rounds, so you got to get some raises. All right, next up, 3 of clubs for Hadrian. Oh my gosh, these clubs. A king of hearts for Bertram. A 5 of diamonds for Leander. A 9 of hearts for Rowan. And a 10 of hearts for Piper. Would anyone like to redraw?
Yes, please. I'll spend a Benny.
1 Benny to redraw.
Got him, might as well use.
You get a 2 of spades. To what?
I want to use a Benny to get 5 points back.
Yes. Yes, you can. All right. So first up is Bertram.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
I'm going to, release my crossbow onto its little shoulder strap, pull out my tomahawks, and start cutting at the cage that these kids are in. I'm assuming it's also made of wood.
Yeah, you can do that. Make a fighting roll.
I'm gonna spend a Benny to reroll.
Okay.
Yes. Dang.
Uh-oh.
All right, it's a 7. 1 short.
That's still a success. Yep, 1 short
Yes,
of a
but
raise.
it's not 2 successes, which is what we need.
Very true. All right. Next up is Piper. So Piper sees what you're doing. She's going to pull out her knife and also try to help. And Piper's fighting is... Ooh, Piper is going to re-roll that because that's not even 1 success. That is very sad. Okay. Okay, that's 4. That's a success, but I'm gonna have Piper re-roll it 1 more time. See if I can do any better. Oh gosh, I can't. Okay, 1 success. All right. So Piper is starting to try to cut through with her knife. Next up is Rowan.
How close am I?
I'd say if you wanted to, I'd say you could get there. I'd say you could get there and let's go. It wasn't that far ahead.
Okay. Is there a pit here as well?
No.
They're cutting it?
Yeah.
I'm going to kind of like just close my eyes and look away from the cage and like find anything in my power to grab vines to just kind of hold the cage up for support to make sure it doesn't come crashing down on them.
Okay, make a spellcasting roll.
Ooh, got a 10.
Ooh!
Nice.
17 in total, minus 2, 15.
15. So that's 2 raises. So that is 3 successes. That's great. Now you have 10. All right. Nice. Yeah, you are able to come up and you, both Piper and Bertram, notice like these vines coming out, kind of helping to hold the cage and pull it to make it a bit more taut, easier to cut. All right. Next up is Leander. What would you like to do?
We need to get the kids that we have safe as well, like started like to leave. But the walls around them are caving in. So what he's gonna do is he's going to pull some vines to try to keep the ceiling as strong as it can, so that when they're running out, it might be the few seconds they need to get everyone out.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah. So spellcasting.
Spellcasting, yeah.
I'm gonna re-roll that.
Okay.
Or I mean, Benny.
Okay.
Ooh, nice.
Did you get it again?
I did.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, 16.
16.
Yeah.
That's 3 raises right there. That's very helpful.
Yes.
That's what you needed. All right. Now there's a total of 13. Next up is Hadrian. What would you like to do?
Okay. So really quick with my boost trait, it says I can, obviously increase or decrease a target's trait, attribute, or skill. Every additional power point, I can affect more than one target. Now, would that also mean I could affect a different trait from each person that I cast it on, or would it all have to be the same thing?
I think it would have to be the same trait, because I think you would have to recast for it to be a different trait. Yeah. Gotcha.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. I'm at. Can I even see inside the other room to what the 3 of them are doing? Rowan, Piper, and Bertram, or am I?
Probably not where you are. You could see Leander, because Leander is back, kind of on the other side of the kids.
Okay. Oh, poop. Oh no, I can't do that. Then okay.
You could also do something like you could use persuasion, shouting your support, anything that any of those skills. If you can justify it, you can use them.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna keep trying to persuade. I'm gonna try to look after these kids. I'm gonna try to persuade them to keep holding on.
I like it. Yeah, they're clearly nervous. Make a persuasion roll.
Close to me.
No.
Crit fail.
Crit fail.
Crit fails in these. It wasn't on a club, so it's not gonna just automatically end it. But you do lose 1 success, so that puts you down to 12.
Okay.
All right. So you take a moment to try to calm the kids, and as you do, a bunch of things kind of fall right beside you, and they just they don't even hear you. They kind of start to freak out. All right. 1 more round.
Oh god.
We need 8.
First up, 4 of hearts for Hadrian. A 2 of hearts for Bertram. A 6 of clubs for Leander. A 8 of hearts for Rowan, and for Piper, a Joker! Oh my god! That's amazing. Okay, everybody gets a Betty! Holy shit!
Yeah. You might as well not give me that one, because I'm re-rolling that club.
You're gonna re-roll, okay. Redo that. Wrong direction. 6 and 2, and new draw is another freaking Joker! Holy shit!
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Okay, so you have a +2, and everybody gets another Benny. This is like Benny Day.
Well, we need him. We need him bad.
I do have one question. Do we have to shuffle the deck after the Joker?
Yes, we do. Thank you. What I will do instead is switch to a new deck. So that will be up next. And yeah, I probably should have before then, but you know what? It worked out. So that means, Leander, you and I can go at the same time. I'll go first unless you have any contest against that. Okay, I'm going to continue to try to cut. I'm going to use my fighting to try and cut through this thing. Fighting, where are you? Okay.
And is it you and Leander get a +2 because the Jokers are yours?
Yep. Yes, just us.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. Oh my gosh. It's a 5. I'm going to use a Benny and try to do better. I really want to get better rolls. Come on, good roll. I aced it. Yes.
There we go.
That's what I want. Okay, 9, 10, 11. It's 11. It's 11. It's not.
Yeah.
It's still one extra raise, so that's 2 points. All right.
Awesome.
Right.
That brings us to 6. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're at 14 total. Okay. Leander, would you like to go?
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay.
He's gonna look at Hattie and say, "We need to get the kids out of here. I'll stay with these kids and make sure that we get out. But go ahead, start running that way." So he's trying to persuade, I guess. Like,
okay, yeah.
We need to act.
Yeah, persuasion works.
I've never done a persuasion with this character. That's D6.
Oh.
Yeah, I actually have it.
Did you?
Yes! Come on,
I
both of them.
Nice.
Nice.
5, that's 11 plus 2, that's 13.
13, that's 2 raises, so that is 3 successes. 1, 2, 3. Nice. All right. Next
I
up.
said it in the most commanding voice I could.
It worked. Next up is Rowan. Rowan, what would you like to do?
Keeping that, closing eyes. Tears are coming down from her eyes because of the cage in front of her, but she doesn't want to look, and she's just trying to keep those vines up.
Okay, I like it. All right, so make another spellcasting roll.
Okay, that's a 7.
That's a success. You want to keep it?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Safe.
5, 10. You have 18 total so far. All right, next is Hadrian.
Okay. Hattie's turn. So Leander just told me to run with kids. I look down at the littlest girl and I look at her and say, "What's your name?"
She says her name is... Her name is Primrose. Primrose, she says.
Look at her and I say, "Prim, you ready to be brave with me?"
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Right. We all have to start going, and I'm gonna try to persuade the kids to start going down the hall with me to get them to start leaving. Hi, that's an explosion too!
You scared me!
Come on!
That's a 10! That's a 10!
Yes!
Yes.
I just start singing Prim and we start going.
Successes. So, you all start to take off. At this same moment, Bertram and Rowan and Piper are able to burst into the cage, and the kids come out. We tell them to run, and we all run down this path while it's still continuing to crumble. And Hadrian, you're now in the front, and you all are running, and you see a little bit of light ahead. It looks like you can't tell what kind of light, but you see it ahead. You keep running towards it. The rest follow. And eventually, you are able to get to an opening of some kind. The kids are in tow. And as you all come out, you see what looks like another exit, because you can kind of see and hear the forest ahead of you. But Hadrian, you see this first. As you are about to head towards that exit, 4 figures step out in front of you. It's a very strange sight because it's 4 Bertrams that you are looking at, Hadrian. And as everyone else comes up, you see them as well. They just look at you. The children look scared, are hiding, very confused. But before anyone can do anything else, they all simultaneously, almost like they're moving as one, they open their mouths wide and they come right at you, Hadrian. We are going to move into a combat.
Oh.
All right.
So, Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it's okay. It's alright.
New deck here. These Bertrams are running right at you, Hadrian. You are quite confused. And as a matter of fact, because there are so many Bertrams, there is going to be a chance each time you attack one that you might hit the wrong Bertram.
Question
Yes.
though.
Isn't he shirtless?
Yes.
Doesn't our Bertram still have his shirt
Yes.
off?
He does. You're right. Which you're just like getting all up in my plans there.
Sorry.
I don't know that though. I don't know that Bertram's topless.
Oh,
You
right.
don't
You
know
didn't
that.
see Bertram.
You don't know that. So, we'll deal with it as it comes. But for right now, yeah, they all look like Bertram with a shirt. Let's draw some initiative. So first up, we've got Hadrian. You've got a King of Clubs. Remember, clubs is no longer a problem because this is not a dramatic task. Bertram, you get a 3 of Spades. Leander, a 9 of Clubs. We've got an Ace of Diamonds for Rowan. Piper has an Ace of Hearts. And our extra Bertrams, got a 2. 2 of Diamonds. Alright, so that means first up is going to be, let's see, we got Hearts and Diamonds, reverse alphabetical order. It will be Piper. So Piper is kind of in the back, and she looks at Bertram, and then she looks ahead, and Bertram, you see this because she's kind of back behind you. She looks down and she starts whispering. And as she does, you notice a figure. It is a cat. Pops up, hopefully, on the other side of Hadrian. So, and it looks like a shadow of some kind. Let's see if I can actually do this. Okay. Whoa! Threw my die across the room. Okay, that's a success. Got a 4. So yeah, there is this like cat, and Hadrian kind of like is full of shadow and has some flecks of acid green flowing through it. And it is going to go over and slash at one of these creatures. So, let's see, we've got, where is my attack? All right. 3. So it goes over and slashes at this thing, but you kind of see as it does, it's almost like it passes through smoke and then the Bertram reforms. Okay. So that was my turn. Next up, and also Piper is going to move, kind of push a bit closer and get up near Hadrian. That was Piper. Next up is Rowan. Rowan, what would you like to do?
Here, or moonlight?
A little bit of moonlight, yes.
Okay.
We're not quite out into the forest yet.
No, you're not.
There is some light.
Yes, yeah. No illumination penalties here.
This could be a huge stretch, but remembering that the night haunts don't like lights, and is there any way I can cast my elemental manipulation using the light from the moon and just glaring it down at the Bertrams?
So, with elemental manipulation, you could cast fire. And I would say, I would extrapolate that utilizing the fire rules and say you could essentially create a burst of moonlight for these purposes. Okay. So yeah, let's make your spellcasting roll.
Okay. Try it and see what happens. Okay. 7.
7. That's a success. Yeah. So you are able to. Let me check on that one if you can do that at a distance or if that is directly. Let's see on that. Earthfire. Yeah, I'll say for our purposes, especially for how you're using it, that you can, and that so you kind of created an orb that's a bit above them. And you successfully did that, so they will be distracted, which means that they are at a -2 for all of their attacks while this is present.
Okay.
Good job. All right, anything else you would like to do?
Oh, that's it. Maintain that orb.
Okay. The next up is Hadrian.
How close are these things to me?
They are not right next to you yet, but they will be next round.
Okay. I would just say, I'd say, Prim, drop my hand. It'll be okay. And I grab my fishing pole and I just scream at this thing and I say, leave these kids alone. And I want to fling this thing like a javelin. I want to throw my fishing pole like a javelin at one of these things.
Okay. I like it. Now, real quick, I want to remind you all what Eden said to you about the Night Haunts. There was only one way to hurt them. It's with magic.
Damn it.
So that's something to remember.
Well, I don't have anything to hurt them with, so...
Okay, so...
I don't have magic
Not
to
attack
hurt.
magic.
Like, I don't have attack magic.
Oh, okay.
But in that moment, yeah, I honestly forgot, so Hattie forgot. He's in the moment. He's only thinking
Right,
about
I
the
just
ship
wanted
right now.
to make sure you knew. All right, so you're going to throw that.
I know now.
For throwing, technically, I would say I would put that as an athletics roll.
Okay. Ooh,
Because
even better. Okay. All right, yeah. Athletics. Here we go. Okay. That's a 5.
5. Yeah. All right, so you're throwing this at them, and okay. So as you do that, you throw your fishing pole and it goes directly through them, and as it does, it's like it takes some wisps of smoky darkness with it, but it just goes straight through them, and then they reform around it.
I would have also taken like a couple like forward.
Okay.
I don't want them to get any closer to the kids, so Hattie would move forward a little bit.
Okay, so you're moving forward a little bit. Okay, all right. The next up is Leander.
All right. And how far am I from the attacking version?
You were pretty close, so I'm gonna say you could get up right next to them.
All right.
This
I don't want
this round, if you want it.
I don't want to get right next to them, but I want to get close enough to cast a new spell.
Okay.
So, he sees them sort of run towards Hattie, right? That's what they were doing. And Hattie throws the fishing pole. He gets really, I mean, he's terrified, and it's for Bertram's, and he thinks that Bertram is trying to kill his friends. So he focuses really hard, and what he does is he starts chanting, and as he does, the plants start swirling around, almost like a small mini tornado. He's casting havoc. And what he's doing is he's going to hurl it at the enemy and push them back a little bit if he can. What this does, I'm going to, so I think they do a plus.
Yeah, they have a.
They roll, against. It's strength against them. So I'm adding a +1 to make it an area of effect. And then I'm also making it strong. So that's 4 things, 4 magic points, but I'm going to use a Benny to get those back at the end. Yay!
Like
I'm so glad we got all those bennies, you guys. We needed them.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Made it a -2. Okay.
Thank you for bennies, everyone, and rerolls.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my
wonderful.
god! Thank you all so much.
you.
They're super helpful.
I got a 4 on my
String-
spellcasting roll, so is that a success?
4. Okay, yes, 4 is a success. This is an opposed roll, however, right? Or no, it's not, because they're just going. Well, it is technically.
I think they do.
They're
I
going-
think they do a strength thing. Yeah.
They do, but it's gonna go up against your spellcasting roll. So, would you
then
like to keep
I
it?
might want to. I do want to re-roll that then.
Okay.
Because 4 is probably very easy for them to get against. Nope. I definitely don't do that because I just rolled a crit.
You have to keep the crit fail in this instance.
Oh, so many today.
And that is a crit fail on a spell casting roll, which means you take a point of corruption, which means you will take a new hindrance. So keep that in mind. You can either up a minor hindrance to a major, or you can take a new one. So you are attempting to cast this new spell, and as you feel like you have control over it, but one of the Bertrams just looks at you, and it's so confusing because there are so many of them, and you kind of stagger back, and it fails on you.
Does that use my spell points though? That's what I want to know. Okay.
Cool. I believe so on a crit fail. On a regular fail, you would only use 1 power point. Just heads up on that. You fail.
That's fine. I will use another Benny then to get 5 back.
Okay. Next up is Bertram. What would you like to do?
I would like to pull the vial that Eden gave me.
Yes.
And pour it over my tomahawk.
Okay, so that will be an action. Did you want to take multiple actions or just this one?
Kind of, but will that affect my ability to pour, or it'll just affect...
It won't affect your ability to pour, it'll just affect the other things you do.
Okay, sure. And
So, let me tell you what you get with that. That's a bottle of Smite, basically. So, Smite will give you, I believe, it will make your weapon magic. Let me see. I'm gonna have you make a spellcasting roll for this because there's a raise option. So just make a spellcasting roll to see if you can access in this instance.
Oh my goodness.
But no negative. I'll say no negatives.
I used to do. 6.
Yeah. How much?
6.
Okay. So you're going to get a +2 to your damage with this weapon.
Nice.
Awesome.
And it will count as a magic weapon. All right. And then what else did you want to do?
I would like to run forward and attack something.
Okay.
So while I'm doing that, I'm going to say, pull it together, Notley!
Okay. Yeah, I'll say you can get up to one of them and make your fighting roll out of -2.
It's 9, 7.
7, okay. That's a hit. Roll damage, and you're gonna add a +2 to whatever you roll.
Nice. Not the best. 8.
An 8. Wow. Okay, well, that is a hit with a raise. You go over, and you, just looking at one of these Bertrams, as soon as you go over there, that face changes to the face that you may not have seen yet, but everyone else had seen. It's the same face that appeared in you a few days back. You see this face, and it laughs at you as you slice right through it, and it dissipates as it screams, and it's gone. You took one of them out.
Yay.
All right. Next up is them. So at this point, there are 3 of you up here. They're going to actually. There's one that's looking at you that is kind of right next to you, Bertram. It turns away from you. 2 of them are going to attack Leander, and 1 will attack Hadrian. Okay. But they're at a -2, so I'm gonna do 1 on Leander first. Where are you? All right. What is your parry, Leander?
It is a 4.
A 4. So one of the Bertrams comes over with a tomahawk and tries to slice right through you. You're able to get out of the way fast enough. But there's another one on the other side that has now taken off its cape and comes over and tries to slice at you with another one. You said it's a 4. That one hits.
Okay.
Okay. Oof. Oh, I said it hits, but it doesn't because it's at a -2. Never mind. It's quite distracted. Success. All right. The next one comes over and tries to hit you, Hadrian. Same thing. It just tries to slice right through you, laughing as it does. Fail. What is your parry?
2.
You got a 9.
No.
That's a success.
Oh God.
Raise.
Oh God. Oh God.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh gosh. All right. But well, I said 2. You said it was a 2. -2 would put it at a 7. That's still no. Yes, that's still with a raise. Okay. Double checking. Okay. So that is 15 damage. You said you had a 2 for what is your toughness?
5.
5. Okay. So 5 and I said 15. So that would be 2 raises. You'd be shaken and take 2 wounds. Would you like to soak?
Yes, please.
All right. Make a bigger roll.
Bigger roll. All right. Come on. I'm gonna spend a Benny.
Okay.
That was
spending a Benny.
Okay. Let's see if I can do better though. Come on. That's better. That's 1 raise. Okay, for an 8.
An 8. That is a success. That is enough to. Oh, not the right person. That is enough to not take any wounds. So as they come over, this Bertram slices into you, and you jump back fast enough, and it only got your clothing and not you. All right, nice. That was their turn. They're gonna stay where they are, and there is a new round. So first up, Hadrian, a 2 of clubs.
Oh,
we've got a 7 of hearts for Bertram. An ace of clubs for Leander. An ace of spades for Rowan. And for Piper, a jack of spades. And for our friendly Bertrams here, they get a 3 of hearts. Man, they cannot draw well. Okay, so that means first up, we've got spades and clubs. First up will be Rowan.
I think I'm just gonna maintain this orb.
Okay, it's going to maintain anyway. You can still cast another spell.
Okay, so let me try doing
Yeah, it's still in its duration, I think. Say that again.
Let me try doing bolts then.
Okay. Bolt. Make a spellcasting roll.
Alright, here we go. 8.
Only bad on tests, yeah. Or not tests, dramatic tasks. An 8. That is a success with a raise, which I believe... Oh, no, wait. Yeah, because this is a... So I believe you have 3d6 damage for that.
6, yes. That's no.
And now I'm
no
gonna
wild
say...
die, right?
No wild die, just whatever your damage is. I'm gonna say now we're gonna make sure that it doesn't hit... That we know which Bertram it hits. Because now it's a bit confusing. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay, here we go. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
11. All right. So that is enough. You shoot your eclipse bolt. You see the moon and it covers, and as it does that, a light shoots out from it, shooting right at one of the Bertrams. And as it does, you see it turns briefly into Eden. She's reaching out to you, and then it dissipates into shadow. Took out another one. Hey. All right. Good job. Next up is Leander.
Yeah. These 2 Bertrams right in front of me, I do not like. And I think I'm getting kind of angry at all of this craziness that's happening. So I think he's going to... I mean, like, I don't have a lot of damaging spells. So right now, just so I understand. There's 2 attacking me, one of which is shirtless, like the other Bertram. So there's 2 Bertrams with no shirt, and then the rest have shirts. Okay.
Yes, right now there are only 3 Bertrams that you can see. 2 don't have a shirt, 1 does.
Oh, right. Right. I forgot one. Cool. So, but there's 2 right in front of me, and I know one of, like, they both are attacking me. So, I'm going to cast Entangle on both of them.
Okay. I like it.
So, yeah. So that needs to be area of effect, which means I need to add a 2 to get both of them,
you're
template?
essentially you're just adding. I believe it goes from. Hang on.
So it's 2 for medium, 3 for large, basically.
Okay. You don't. Medium would be plenty here. If you're just, are you trying to get all 3 of them? I'm sorry. Tell me that again.
I'm just trying to get
the 2.
the 2 that are attacking me because I know they're both
Okay.
bad.
Yeah. Then you just need the medium template's fine. Funny.
Okay. So that is 4. Please don't. I'm just
These
gonna.
kids in the background are trying so
Ace.
much.
Yeah.
They are. You aced it.
Good job.
Yeah, I did. I got a 10.
A 10. All right. Yep. So there is an opposed roll for that. Is that correct?
If successful, the target is entangled with the raise. He's bound. Victims may break free on their turn.
Okay, and they're bound if you got a raise.
Yep.
So yeah, they are there, and they don't seem to be actually. Well, that's magic, so yeah, that would work. Okay. All right. Anything else you would like to do?
It's if I take another action, it's a -2, right? I could do another action,
and you would have been at a -2
I
for
would have
that
had to
first
say that
action
at
as
the
well.
beginning, right?
Yeah. So you can move. Basically.
So I will do it next time. Cool. That's
okay. Okay. All right. The next up is going to be Piper. Piper saw that you did that. She's going to produce a ball of flame in her hands, and actually, she does that. But before she does anything, she doesn't really need to. No, I'm gonna have this other cat come over. This shadow cat is gonna try to swipe at one of them once again. Before I cast this. That was... doesn't get through. So now I will try and shoot a ball of fire that has a little bit of a green that bursts forth. Shoot it right at one of the ones you have bound. Spellcasting. Oh! I got a crit fail!
Oh no! Everybody's done it so far now!
Oh wow.
Okay, I'm gonna take a point of corruption, and we'll also have to affect one of mine. So you see, as Piper starts to do that, it's like the flames burst right in her face, kind of dazzling her for a moment, and is unable to do anything else. Wow. All right, that means next up is Bertram.
Okay. I'm going to run forward and start slashing.
Okay, I like it.
I'll run up to the ones next to Leander.
Okay.
And will I get a gang up bonus on just one or two of them?
You'd get a gang up bonus on both of them if you're standing adjacent.
Okay, then I am going to go for 2 attacks.
Okay. I like it. So you'll be at a -1 for both.
One to both of them. Yeah.
You'll,
Okay.
You'd actually be at a... are you using the same hand? Or are you using...
I'm going to use the same
you're
hand.
just using-
So I only
okay.
put it on one, because I
I'll say it works.
have that one vial.
It'll work. It should just be at a -1.
Okay, I'm gonna go for the shirtless one first. Screw that
Okay.
guy. That is a 4.
4. So you try to hit this guy, and it's like he kind of felt you were there and kind of just moves back before you can quite get through.
Okay, well, I'm gonna swing at him again.
Okay. What?
Can he move back if he's bound?
He's bound, but mostly
okay.
I'm explaining his loss more than it being overly literal.
Okay. I was like, man, he's moving? Oh no.
I'm gonna spend a Benny to roll again.
Okay.
Oh no. Oh, I thought it was a bad.
Not bad,
It was a
bad.
counting.
I'll spend one more Benny.
Oh my!
I mean, there's a very finite amount of time I can help in this combat. Okay, taste it.
Okay,
Um, so 8.
8! That is a success. Roll damage.
Okay.
Don't forget that +2.
Ooh. 25.
Yep.
What? So, yeah, this thing kind of moves out of the way, and it's like you use its momentum as it does that. You just kind of move your hand back, or it's like you did a big circle. You move it back around, so it just kind of moves right into it, and you see your tomahawk go like straight through its neck, and it just kind of starts to melt into this shadowy dust as it screeches away. There is only one left, and that one is gonna get to try to break free at a strength, I believe, -2 currently.
-2,
yeah, it's
Let's see,
-2
what
with
is your...
the light, if that light is still there.
Oh, right. That too. Oh boy. This thing... Yeah,
Well, we
I'm
work
gonna try
together
to
really well as a team.
use a Benny here and see what we can do for this poor Bertram creature. You guys are just being so mean to Bertram right now. I mean, okay.
I mean...
yeah, it can't seem to break free. It is having a very hard time attempting at this at a -4. All right, so then that means next up is Hadrian. What would you like to do?
Hattie's gotten to the point he's scared and he's really angry at these things too. He pulls out one of his jars and goes to pour it out, and you guys see like the water start like going up his arm as he reaches up to that globe, the orb. I'm gonna cast an illusion, and it looks like the orb actually like starts sucking into Hattie's body as he starts to glow like the orb, and he just looks at this thing and he just says, "You're not getting the children!" And he's just going to like step forward at this thing while he's glowing. I'm gonna spend, was it 2, 3, 4, 5 points. So if he wants to try to disbelieve it, it's a -2 on a spirit roll. And and yeah, it's like a just big booming sounding scary voice right now. Addie is angry and very scared. And his friends are trying and everything, and he wants to as well. So now he's like a giant white glowing avatar of spookiness. Ah!
Okay. I like it. Okay, so this thing kind of like it's bound, and it kind of screeches away from you. I'll say it's at an additional -1. It's extra distracted in this instance. So if it tries to attack, it's gonna have a really hard time hitting because it's so like trying to get away from how extra bright this has become. All right, nice. And did you want to move or anything?
Yeah, I would. I am again taking a step towards the scary thing.
Okay, so you're stepping in closer. So I'll say now anyone attacking this thing will have a +2 gang up bonus. All right. Next round, Hadrian, 4 of hearts for you. Bertram, a king of spades. For Leander, a queen of diamonds. For Rowan, an 8 of spades. And Piper gets a queen of clubs. And this thing gets a freaking 2. Wow. All right. So that means first up is Bertram.
Okay. I am going to attack it.
Okay. I like it.
Right. Here we go. I'm gonna use a Benny.
Okay.
Oh. How many do you have left?
3.
Okay.
Which is a lot.
You guys have a lot of bennies. Oh, hello.
Oh, that's nice.
But I've also gone
That
through.
was a nice one.
Bertram has a head thing. Has a
So it's,
flower necklace on now.
Best I could get was a 5.
5. So this thing is like, can't quite move, but it was able to almost like shadow itself away from the weapon, just barely, as you go to attack.
Okay.
All right. And was that with all your pluses and such? The 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Gang up.
Mm-hmm.
Get it together,
Right.
Thornheart.
Diamonds.
Yeah.
Leander. Leander is next.
All right. I have 1 magic point left, and I think if I throw Move Earth at it, does that do any damage at all?
Let me see. So technically moves it. I'll say, sure, make a spell casting roll, and I'll say you could, I'll say you can use your strength if you're able to hit.
Okay.
No bueno.
10. All right, so make a strength roll.
Strength, which is my strength. It says it has a strength of D6, right? So I make a D6 roll for that.
That's not in this instance. Use
Okay,
your strength.
so I
for
use my
this.
strength. Okay.
This isn't quite how it would work, but I'm just going to use it for this for simplicity's sake.
Okay. Ooh, I actually have higher than that, so that makes me happy.
There you go.
Ooh. 7. I rolled a 6
okay,
and then
so-
rolled a 1.
Rolled it. So you hit, and that 7. Yeah, that's a hit. So, and I'm going to say in this instance, you're using power. It makes sense to me that I'll allow this to qualify as magical. So, you hit this thing with it, and it kind of smashes onto it. It's still standing, but you can tell that you've made it unhappy. It is now shaken.
You also see that Leander is starting to pant really heavily. He looks really tired after all of this magic he's used.
Okay. All right. Next up is Piper. Piper is frustrated that her fire didn't work last time, so she's going to try once again. You see a flame burst on her palm, and she turns to hurl it at this thing. She gets a 5, which I think in this instance would count because we're dealing with range. So, rolling damage on that. Ah! Ooh, losing die. Oh, I aced it!
Yes.
That's good.
10,
Yes.
14 damage. Piper's ball of fire comes shooting out, bursts, lands right in this thing's face, and just burns it up as it's screaming. The vines fall to the ground, and all goes quiet. And as that happens, you all notice a figure that is slumped against this exit. It's a little bit in shadow, but once these things have disappeared, it's a bit brighter in here with your moon ball of flame that is still burning, you see Ursa slumped against the dirt wall. She looks at least unconscious, if not more. But that is where we will end this evening.
No!
We'll have to come back next week for the finale to find out what has happened to the final Elder, Ursa.
It's not going to be good.
Thank you all.
We're gonna rope that woman up. I shouldn't say that.
Indeed. Thank you all so much. Thank you to all you ancestors out there for everything that you did to help our witches this evening. Next Tuesday is going to be the season finale of Chapter 1. So I hope you all will be there for that. Then we will be gone for 2 weeks. For good reason, because Philip booked a job, and so that is putting us out for a little bit before Philip gets to come back and tell 2 more episodes worth of stories. So we do have a full 10 episode season. We do have the season finale. We will be back for 2 more episodes with these characters. And then after that, we will do a chat back the following week. So there's a lot more to see. I hope you all will join us for it. Let's go around real quick. Everyone, tell them who you are, where they can find you, and anything else, if there's anything else you want to add. Let's start with Adam.
Hey, Dat fam, new and old, anybody who's here today. My name is Adam Kahn, playing your town's friendly fisherman, Hattie. And you can find me on all the socials at Azerol1. You can also, every Tuesday night currently right there. Be on the lookout. In the next couple weeks, Diana and I will be back over on the Norse Foundry channel as well too, with some aliens,
Ooh.
and aliens, Blade Runner, concoction stuff. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be crazy. So look out for that in the next in 2 weeks. We're gonna be hitting that up second Monday of next month. So
that's
exciting. Back here next week. With the Harbingers family.
Yay!
Awesome. Thank you very much. Philip, same thing. Tell them who you are, where they can find you.
My name's Philip Rossi. You can find me at Philip J. Rossi, Philip with 1 L, on the social things. I'm super excited for next Tuesday. I hope you'll join us for our finale. I can't wait to find out what happens.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Diana, same thing. Tell them who you are, where they can find you.
Of course, I am Diana Restrepo, and you can find me at DianaRest3 on Instagram and Twitter. And then this Saturday, I'll be playing a guest on Gnome Anne's channel, which just follow my socials, and I'll directly give you a link there. And it'll be 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that'll be fun. I don't exactly know what we're doing yet. All I know is I'll be on her channel.
Whoa! Well, mysteries abound then. Awesome. Thank you. Randy, same thing. Who are you? Where can they find you?
Yeah, hey everybody, I'm Randy Alvarenga. You can follow me on Twitter at Roller Raja, that's ROLLER, RAJA, or Raja012 on Instagram. I'm here on Tuesdays, and then for Hispanic Heritage Month, have something cool coming down the line, so look on my socials for that when it's ready. I'm super excited for that. So
cool.
Spanish people represent. High five.
I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you very much. And I am Meghan Caves. You can find me at Meghan Caves, MEGHANCAVES on Twitter and Instagram, and Meghan Caves Actor on Facebook to follow all the things I'm doing, which mostly is this right now because it's because I like it. So check that out. You can also follow Harbingers at Harbingers RPG, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can follow the Dat Network at the Dat Network, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Check out our website for Harbingers, meghancaves.com/HarbingersRPG. I think that's it. I feel like there's like 20 other things I should be telling y'all, but I don't know what they are, so I'm not going to. Beyond that, I hope to see you all here next week for our finale, 6 p.m. right here on the Dat Network. I think that's it, folks.
We hit all our people who commented, Megan? I can't remember.
Ah, good point. Let's check in and make sure that we did do that. We do
That's
have a
probably
few
what we forgot.
people. Yes, thank you. TTRPG Gifts has given some bits. Thank you, TTRPG Gifts.
Yes.
Thank
Sweet
you.
of you. Elite Trooper 348 has resubscribed for 36 months. Manapot
Yeah.
Studios
Thank you.
has rated us as well a little bit earlier.
Yay.
Thank you for
guys.
that,
Thank you.
everyone. Yeah. I think that's it now. Did I get it all? I hope I did.
I think so.
Yeah. All right. Very excited to see you all back here next week. But until then, well, we won't see you until then. I didn't have
Sleep
anything
well.
good for you to say. There you go. Sleep well.
Bye, friends.
Bye.
All right.